when I move to a new Android device, application moves, but all my personal data and history doesn't. Starting with Froyo, we'll provide an application data backup API that ISVs can take advantage of.
That's great.
And move the data along with the application.
One of the great things about Android is that when you get a new Android handset, it remembers your apps and reinstalls them, but not your data.
Messaging API.
Now, does put your background back and everything.
This is not a push notification API designed to compensate for the lack of basic functionality like multi.
So they're talking about Froyo version 2.2.
Okay.
A little rip on Apple's
We've done something very clever I think you're going to love. As a developer, you can send a message to our servers, which will do very smart things, like collapse similar messages. Our servers, which will optimize for the latency of mobile networks and make sure that that message gets down to the device. But that's only the first step. We've done deep integration with Android, such that when you send a message, that message can trigger an Android intent. Let me show you how powerful this is. Let's go to a demo.
Apple was significantly missing
here on his laptop
yesterday.
Google Maps.
This is all about Apple.
In Google Maps,
or at least a response.
And he's using the Chrome browser, and he's added a Chrome extension. The Chrome extension is in the upper right-hand corner, and that sends it to his phone. So in the map, he's got directions. He's got directions from the Moscone Center to Google headquarters, and he wants to send that to the phone. What do you think happens? Do you think we send a text message that says this is the address?
No, Vic.
Do you think we send an email?
No, Vic.
No, we send an Android intent.
Of course you do.
In other words, when he says send a phone, the message gets sent to our server, gets pushed down to the device kicks into navigation mode automatically. Keep your eye, when he clicks on send a phone, keep your eye on the Android device.
Watch the Android device.
So send it.
By the way, that looks like a Nexus 1. They were using an Incredible
and on
yesterday.
the Android device, boom,
boom,
right into navigation.
Boom.
How hot is that? That's how you do a device, cloud-to-device API. Let me show you another example. You're reading an article on the desktop. You think it's awesome, but you're out of time and you need to run. You want to keep reading that on the Android phone. Why don't you send that to the device, Matt? To the device. Opens up the browser, takes you right to that article.
This would be a good time to have Gina here, unfortunately, because I'm not sure. It sounds like, I don't know if this, I would guess this is going to be XMPP or something like that.
See what you're going to go do with this API. All right, let's go back to
it's API based, but I wonder how those messages are encoded. You're going to love this. You're watching Tethering. This is something that the Evo does on 4G.
Like me, you have a plethora of devices you carry around with you. And all those devices shouldn't mean added complexity in yet another bill, right? You should be able to, at the platform level, enable tethering. And so now your Android device can, in fact, become a portable hotspot and really serve the needs of these other devices that you might have with you. In fact, let's show you a demo of this working. Matt has Nexus 1 running Froyo. He'll go right into tethering and portable hotspot. He'll enable the hotspot. He'll give it a name. In fact, I think
the carriers will probably charge you for this.
AP. And that hotspot will turn on. We'll give it a second there. There we go. Tethering hotspot is now active. Now he'll go to another device that doesn't have connectivity. How about that iPad?
I'm telling you.
And there you go. One bill. Isn't that beautiful? All right, let's go back to slides.
This is all about Apple, and the developers know it. You can hear the tittering in the audience.
Now, it turns out, do you know what the most popular thing people do with these smartphones? What do you think it is? Fairly obvious.
Google Wave?
They actually use the phone. The number two thing they do is they do text messaging. And the third most used application
Surf the net.
Is the browser.
You bet.
And so it's critically important
for us
recap, to make the Android browser rock.
Second only to RIM, 1 billion miles navigated, 180,000 developers, 50,000 apps.
Well, I think you're going to love this.
We have a 2 to 3x performance. They're using a JIT compiler to get improved performance two times on the hardware, and also, you see, in the JavaScript as well.
Into Froyo. Now, the best way to show you how much of an advancement
speed is huge, of course,
is to do a demo. So let's go and show you this fantastic performance boost. Now, we're going to do this demo with a number of devices. We're going to do We're going to do this demo. 3 devices. We're going to do this demo with Froyo, a Claire, and an iPad. Now, here's the demo we're going to do. There's an industry standard test. In fact, there's a suite of 26 tests, the SunSpider tests, that really exercise JavaScript performance of all kinds. And when Matt presses start across these 3 devices, we're going to exercise each one of these 26 tests. As we complete one test, that little Android robot will take 1 breaststroke forward. And as all 26 tests are complete, we're going to complete an
They've learned a little bit from Apple. This is a much more an Apple-like keynote.
Let's go ahead and start this test. Let's see what happens.
You're watching breaking news coverage of Google I/O, their developers conference, day 2. This will be the Android announcements. And I guess you probably want to watch the little guy swimming, don't you? And the TV announcements. So he's lapping. He's already lapped.
I really wonder if we'll be able
Claire.
to get that in the App Store. Oh, it's a web app. How great is that? All right.
You see how much faster the phone on the left is swimming.
Let's go back to slides.
They're pointing out the speed of Froyo. And that in particular, JavaScript rendering speed. Our thanks to Slingbox for making this possible, by the way. Use Slingbox to watch your favorite TV shows when you're away from home. Now available at Best Buy. To learn more and to find an in-store demo near you, visit slingbox.com.
That's a pretty great accomplishment, one we're extremely proud of. Okay, we're not done. I showed you what's in Froyo, but make no mistake about our commitment to maintain leadership in the browser on Android. One of the ways that we're doing that is we're working with standards bodies to enable web developers to get capabilities that were formerly only limited to native access to the platform. What kind of capabilities? Well, think about the things that you can access on a device, things like the magnetometer, the accelerometer. Think about things like the camera or being able to access speech. Wouldn't it be great if you could access this from the browser? We're going to show you a sneak peek at something beyond Froyo, an early development build that will give you a flavor of where we're going next. Let's go back to demos. Now remember, we already got some of this work underway. Last year, we worked with the standards committees to introduce geolocation into the browser. And today, almost on all major modern platforms, you can make an API call from the browser, get location with the user's permission, and then do a feature like My Location right within the browser. But we want to do more. How about the accelerometer? What about the access to the tilt and the direction of the device? Watch this. Isn't that great? Right within the browser.
Ooh.
All right.
Nothing like that on the iPhone, is there?
No.
Do you have any kind of access
Google
like
Maps will do that,
now,
but not the browser.
Key feature that we've heard from developers that they want access
so
to.
He's talking right now about the next generation of Android, which is called Froyo or 2.2, and new API features.
But we'd love to be able to include a picture. Well, how do you access the camera from
the biggest story is a huge speed up. These are browser capabilities, but a huge speed up overall in the
select if he wants to. It looks like in this
same
case,
hardware.
It's not going to work. We'll give it one shot and we'll move on if this doesn't work. But you can access that camera capability right from within the browser. And we'll show you that in the sandbox later. It's great.
Oops.
Let's talk about another capability.
Demos don't always work.
But before we talk about that capability, let me remind you of what's possible in Android.
Gina's got her live wave
Google,
going with Adam Pash, Kevin Marks.
Several years ago, really made a deep investment in voice recognition. We recognize that the mobile device, because of its limited input capability, would be the platform in which people used voice input more than any other platform. In fact, we see a stunning number of queries being done on mobile devices where the input is a human voice. Now, just as a reminder of how fantastic our capability has become over the past 2 years, let me do a few demos. Or more accurately, Matt, why don't you highlight a few cases?
Pictures of Barack Obama with the French president at the G8 summit.
Oh, he's speaking to the
That's a tough
phone.
one. Boom. Look at that.
Boom. It does do a very good job of that. Do you use an Android phone, Eric, or an iPhone?
Because
Yeah.
this is so
It does an
fun,
excellent
let's
job of
do a
that, I have
few
to say.
more.
And that's why Apple bought Siri, of course, is to do stuff
Pictures
like
of the
that.
Golden Gate Bridge at sunset.
These are queries you're likely not to type in, let alone get a response back in a few seconds. Isn't that great? And one more.
The point is that
Delgado Vineyards, Napa.
this is throughout the
My
phone.
favorite
This
vineyard,
isn't
Napa.
just in the browser.
Boom. Now,
Having
what
the
when
browser
showed you
access to
was
this is
phenomenal
huge.
voice recognition that we're now shipping in Mandarin, Japanese, English, a number of languages, and that's constantly increasing. But what's coming next is also the ability to understand human intentions. We'll give you a very simple sneak peek at the kinds of things that we're going to enable.
Get that wave on screen there.
Well, they're really moving away from the
Call Fifth
device-specific
Floor Restaurant.
applications, aren't they? They want everything in the browser.
In this case,
It's one way that Google can do it because they control the
There's
browser.
many
right?
more intentions we're going to go build in.
But they're
Make it
also
very,
pointing
very
out that this is
simple for you to
API.
use.
These are API calls.
Voice
So,
in-
Apple offers nothing equivalent right now. do they?
Nothing like that. No.
Hey, Vic.
But we haven't seen 4.0. Well, I guess we've
Oh,
seen
you guys,
betas
okay,
of
let's
4.0.
go
We
back to the
kind of
camera.
know what
Let's see if this
4.0.
thing works. Say, this is a web app. It's a Buzz web app. There's the camera from the browser. Boom, right into the camera. Isn't that great? And now we can post a picture and give web developers the same type of capabilities that you'd expect in a native application. I'm glad that worked. No need for you guys to visit the sandbox.
So that's been kind of a missing piece of Buzz, actually.
Getting back to the speech demonstration. What we showed
Do
you.
you think
was
they're implying a level of
capability
hardware
that
abstraction
make
so
available to
that you don't have to
developers the
call
web app
camera and all that?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It'd be an API call.
Here's a web app. It is a translate app from Google with one new feature. You'll note the microphone right there at the top. Matt, if you could just point to the microphone. There it is. And watch what Matt does.
They're loving, in the wave, they're loving Vic.
Can you help me find the nearest hospital?
Again, this is Siri-like natural language. Pouvez-vous... Wow. That's in the that's Google Translate in the browser.
Wow.
It did a good job.
All right, let's go back to slides.
That's pretty impressive. You're watching live coverage
Now,
of
we're
Google
not only
I/O Day
committed
2.
to
We're
making
talking
sure
about
that
Android
Android
2.2 right now. Froyo.
You can clap. I'll let you clap.
Leo, I can't seem to find Juno's live wave of this day. Where did you link from it?
You know, I love
It is,
when
I think,
don't
on
even have to
Smarterware,
speak
but
too
if not,
far, just get applause.
I just went right to my
Okay.
wave and it's in my inbox.
But
So I don't-
let me just make a point here. You know, we're not only committed to having the world's fastest browser, we're committed to having
Adobe is
the world's
a
most
big player
comprehensive
here. It's
browser.
interesting. And this is a
It
competitive
turns out that
point.
on
I
the
have a
internet,
feeling
people use Flash.
if Apple weren't so anti-Flash, that Google wouldn't be so pro-Flash. I mean, it really is. It
Part
doesn't
of
fit
being
their
open
open
means
mission,
you're inclusive
but it's
rather than
a
exclusive,
strong
and you're open to
anti-competitive
innovation.
point for them.
You know, this was driven home to me very powerfully when my daughter picked up my iPad.
The truth is, I
went
can
to
live
her
without
favorite
Flash and
website,
Air, but developers will like it, of course, because that means they can
This is what
develop in
the song
Air.
They're really positioning themselves as the platform for developers. I think Apple's really in
Absolutely.
trouble in that
Absolutely. And well, that's what they need to do because that's where Apple's strongest. Apple's not in trouble in the sense that they make money for the developers. You know, there's a strong
Isn't that great? That's what
app
open
store
is.
and a at least until Froyo or Android takes over
And by the way,
a larger
special
user base.
Thanks to Adobe for their
But
incredible
this is a
willingness
strong
to
number
work
two,
with us,
right?
engage
This
with
is
us
a company
Android
that's coming on
Chrome
strong.
and many
And especially
other
with those
areas.
native API
Really
calls from
fun
the
to
browser and
develop
hardware
folks
calls,
to
it's like
go
you,
Yeah.
you don't even have
Web
to
apps.
have any
Yeah.
kind of approval process at all. You just
Right.
write an app and it's immediately on the web.
Now the problem is that unless somebody's coming to your website with an Android device,
All right, let's go back to slides.
your stuff's not going to work. So
Oh, yeah.
so it that's a mixed bag. That's a mixed bag.
Now, we've also made significant improvements in the Android marketplace. We've listened carefully to the feedback that we've gotten from
More
developers
porn,
and from users,
if,
and I think you're going to like the enhancements. Let's talk about what we've done. On average, our data shows that users are installing more than 40 apps on their Android device. And so finding those apps is a challenge. Also, they want to search within the data of those apps. They want to move those apps to the SD card, and they want to update all without having to update each individual app by themselves. Let me show you through a series of demos what we've done here. Let's go to demos. The first demonstration we're going to show you is just searching.
We're going to get Kevin Marks in here
and
on
now,
this.
with the quick search box, we've made it trivially easy to scope it to apps. So as soon as you start typing a letter,
that's interesting.
the app you're looking for just comes up. It's a simple and easy way to go find apps. Not only can you find apps, but we've improved the quick
This is
search
something the
box
iPhone
so that
kind of does
developers
pretty well,
can
in
plug
fact.
into the search framework.
They're showing
In
a
this
search bar
case,
right at the top of the screen at all
that icon
times?
is for Mint.
Is that what that
a
was?
financial application. And now you're searching within the data of
You
that
can go. You
application,
press the search
bringing
button
up,
on the
your
handset to do
financial
that.
records. We think developers are going to
You can put a search bar. There's a widget, so you could put it on top of the screen if you want, but you have the choice.
Their own applications be surfaced, discoverable, and more fun and engaging for the user. Another issue we've heard is people want to take advantage of the openness of Android, the ability for you to plug in an SD card with arbitrary amounts of memory. And they want to move apps not just in the internal memory, but off to the SD card. 2 points. We've enabled that capability in a secure way with Froyo. But we've also made it so that the user never has to worry about it. When they install an application, we'll intelligently look at the space and, if appropriate, move it
That
to
quick
the SD
search
card.
box.
If the user wants
Adam
to get
Pash is
involved
pointing
and
out
manually
is Nicholas
move things
Jitkoff's
around,
work.
that's
He's the
what
guy who
this
did Quicksilver on
demonstration does. In this
Macintosh
case, Matt
and
is
did the
gonna
quick
take a
search
brand
box
new
for
game, Need
Macintosh
Speed,
wow.
application
and
on
he's gonna shift that
OS
game
10.
from the internal memory onto the SD card. And there you
This
go.
is
There's
huge.
the-
This is something
the
that's
whole
missing, and it's actually
application is being
a
moved
big
over.
gap
Why
right
don't we
now
start the game?
in
Since
Android
it's on
is
the SD
that
card, why don't you launch
applications
that game?
install into the phone memory and cannot be run from the SD card. This is something they've needed. They're really addressing a couple of real flaws in Android, even 2.1. Speed, of course. 2.1 doesn't handle memory right. There's a bug. And doesn't allow you to put apps on the SD card.
We got to go.
The ability to
I
do
know the
that, of
game's
course,
fun.
is something it should have had from day one, and many other
Let's go
phones do
into
have.
the
So with an
marketplace.
app on an SD card, where can you take it? To a different phone, and it's just already like
Well,
installed?
really, it's more just so you have more storage, right?
Oh,
Because
okay.
you've got very limited internal storage
Oh,
on
the
the
next
phone.
one. Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All functionality.
So this is really a response to
Matt,
that.
that's you.
But yeah, I guess you could.
He's easily distracted. All right. Today, you have to update each application individually. In Froyo, we've made it simple. At the bottom of the Android marketplace, you see the Update All button.
Ah, finally. This is something that's been missing. Something that's been in the iPhone all along that's really been missing.
I'm kind of embarrassed you had to clap on that. We're glad it's there. We've gone one step
You've had to
further.
go one by one to
Why
update your
should the user
applications.
have to take any action?
And this is a big
Starting
deal
with
on,
Froyo,
on Android because applications update much more frequently on the iPhone than on the iPhone because you don't need permission to update. So you'll get some apps updating weekly. You don't have to get through Apple's
and
approval
the user
process.
doesn't have to worry about this at all. Let's go back to slides.
That's about time.
Another key feature we're adding in Froyo is designed to meet the needs of developers. We want the best apps on Android, the highest quality apps. And that means we need to close the loop when there's a problem. Let's go back to a demonstration here, and I'm going to show you an app called Crashy. It does exactly
Crashy.
that really well. It crashes. And so, Matt, why don't you start the app, and it crashes. Now, note that there's a button there now called Report, and the user can press Report.
Dr. Mom points out that most apps tie themselves to the
description
phone.
of what happened.
I'm sure a paid app won't, in
Look at
fact,
all
be
the data
transportable
that
from
they're
SD
gonna go
card
send,
by
make
SD
sure they're
card.
comfortable with that data, and then they can hit send. And that is sent back to the developer. Note on this screen the Android marketplace.
Again, this is a developers
Note a
conference, so a
brand
lot of
new
what they're going to show is
tab.
to appeal to
Bugs.
developers.
When you click on bugs, we will show you those reports for your application, and we will show you the entire stack.
Interesting, using Safari on a Mac, not Chrome. Although Chrome is running.
So, having already seen most of the iPhone OS 4, do you think Apple could really come back with anything
thought-
significant?
No, it's
to
too late
announce?
now. They're
Yeah.
already in their third or fourth beta in OS 4, and they're probably coming out next month with the phone. It's good timing for Google to announce this now.
Very good timing.
You know, there are reports today that the next generation of
I wanna go a
Android
little bit
2.3 is going to come out in Q4. So
Oh,
they're
wow.
in a very fast development cycle,
The Android
which is,
marketplace.
you know, in some ways
I think you're gonna
uncharacteristic
like
of Google, in some ways characteristic. You know,
go
when
back.
they want to work fast, they can. And then you see things like
Now
Buzz,
it's
which
now
just
showing
don't get
the Android
updated for
marketplace,
months.
except
You
No,
know?
Apple's in trouble. I mean,
Unlike
everything
anything
that they're
you've ever seen
demonstrating
before.
is exactly
Android
filling in
marketplace
gaps that the
accessible from
iPhone
a
has left
browser
wide
on
open.
PC.
Well, and that's what happens. Of course, that's where competition happens because when you have a number one product, then people can aim at you, right? So nobody stays number one very long if it's a market that people are interested in. And I think this is good for users because the features that they're going to add, the features users are asking for and developers are asking for. There'll be more applications.
He's a little weird.
And then Apple will presumably respond. Apple's cycle, though, is a little longer now. They're year to year.
Nutter, butter, nutty buddy, something, whatever. Like I said, he's weird.
Google may have the advantage here because they're using Linux, because they are open. They may be able to develop faster.
Now, hold on, Matt. Hold on.
Yeah, Apple has such a small group of developers working on it in-house, whereas I guess Google's is
it's open source.
It's everybody
can
contribute. On some other systems.
Kevin Marks is saying,
you download it
yeah, this is what we want.
You then have to tether your device. You have to then, once it's down on your PC, you have to then convert it over that tethering to your device and then make that sync happen. Well, guess what? We discovered something really cool. It's called the internet. And when Matt presses download, keep your eye on the Android device.
There it is. So that's fantastic. You can install from a website into the phone. That's fantastic. Wow. That's fantastic. And again, this is something that, Apple is tied to iTunes. So you can kind of, you do that through iTunes, not over the air. Apple does not have Wi-Fi syncing.
About to show you.
He didn't say whether that was over the cell network over Wi-Fi.
Android is really opening everything that the iPhone has closed off.
Exactly. That's a fantastic feature.
Matt,
you can say boom again, Vic.
Song you like. And why don't you just send it?
Vic's really feeling his oats today. This is the keynote he wanted to do.
This should have been yesterday's keynote.
He did. He just said boom.
There you go. There's the music coming right on down to your device.
Trademark Steve Jobs, Apple Computer LLC. That was over 3G. All right. Well, that's a huge feature. Huge feature.
Now, we're not done yet. Some of you may be thinking, this is really cool, this is so hot, but I have all my music already on my device at home.
Oh boy, if they have Wi-Fi syncing of music, huge.
I've got thousands of songs there.
So now you can buy apps and music from the marketplace.
Well, we recently acquired a company called Simplified Media, and it is our intention to incorporate that technology into the marketplace as well. And that allows you at home to run a simple piece of software that makes all of your non-DRM music available to your Android device. Would you like to see this?
Yes, we would,
Vic. Let's go to your Android device. Android device has two songs on it.
Now, obviously, you wouldn't do this over 3G.
But I want more than two songs. I want all
And he is on Wi-Fi, I should point out, on that phone.
So Matt will go down and select. I guess he has to plug in the device so you can hear it.
Options, touch 9.
What?
Okay.
Thank you for calling the Fifth Floor Restaurant.
Oh my God.
He's been on 11 minutes with the Fifth Floor Restaurant.
Was that from a past demo from a few minutes ago?
I don't know. That phone's been making that call for 12 minutes.
Let me offer a public apology. Now. You know what's really odd is that they didn't pick up all that time. Wow.
Adam Pash says, snap, I was looking at Simply Media's website last night. They're no longer available for download or in the iTunes App Store Marketplace. So, big acquisition for Google.
All the music.
Look at that. Holy cow.
You might be wondering, what just happened? We are making your home music library available to your Android device as a stream.
It's sharing.
So example,
okay, so that's using the Apple's own
song,
technology.
Matt's an Earth, Wind, and Fire fan. Hit play.
It's using AirTunes?
Yeah. Unless you have to, it would be crazy for them not to. I mean, plenty of devices can do that.
Right now, you have to buy like a $100.
Or another Mac. Any other Mac could share an iTunes library.
Right on your iPhone, I mean.
Right, like to have it run on your iPhone. That's right. You can't do that on the iPhone, can you? You can do it on Mac. You can't do it on the iPhone.
Yeah.
And you can do it on Android. Interesting.
Let's talk a little bit about advertising.
Oh boy.
It turns out.
Remember, Google got AdMob.
We know a little bit about
Apple started iAds.
Today this year happens to be Google's 10th anniversary of providing
And again, he's talking to developers. He's talking about money. This is important to developers.
One of the foremost things we've learned is that if you want to have a healthy ecosystem of advertising, you need advertisers. And we have hundreds of thousands of them. That means if you have an ad spot, we have a relevant ad that can fill it. It's called inventory. We're not new at this game.
Gina says Vic is owning this room.
And charging them $1 million each to be part of our program. Okay?
So not as selectively
we can be
handpicked
your
as Apple's
advertising
doing.
partner.
Yeah.
We've also learned something else in that decade.
Well, you
That
presumably got access to
advertisers
the
and publishers
entire
have
Google ad
different kinds of needs.
ecosystem.
There are local advertisers. There's direct response advertisers. There are brand advertisers. And if you want to play, you need formats that meet the needs of those
Pat's
kinds
pointing
of
out in the chat room, this is a much better keynote than yesterday. It really is. It's interesting, and Vic really is doing the Steve Jobs today. He must have gotten some feedback from yesterday.
And that means it needs to have great tools. Why does it need to be measured? Well, you need to know if the money
Google owns all of this, of course. Google Analytics, AdWords, AdSense, and DoubleClick.
So you can invest.
You might as well add AdMob to this, too.
And it turns out that we have some tools you might have heard of called DoubleClick, Analytics, AdSense,
Boom!
AdWords. The tools that the industry uses, knows, and loves are being extended seamlessly to work in the mobile environment. And finally, we've learned that it's important to be open to innovation. Now, I don't even know what the ponies have to do with this slide, but part of being open is that when you get a designer who gives you a slide,
This
you
is
go with it.
geeks. This is geek stuff. My Little Pony. I love it.
Let's show you each one of these 4 points.
That's the geeks. He's talking to the geeks
and
now.
go to demo.
This is something the Jobs would never do, of course.
Does the iAd platform offer
Now, these are real
that level of
real applications.
stats?
Let me make that point clear.
Of Google
I don't know, but I would imagine so. You almost have to.
Available in the
You almost
Android
have to.
marketplace. At the top, you're looking at a Google ad. Our ad program, which has been available only to a limited number of beta participants, is called AdSense for mobile apps.
AdSense for mobile.
And you're looking at one of those AFMA ads. You're looking at our large inventory of text ads being optimized and served on that
So I
device.
guess it will pull
We're
from
taking advantage of
AdSense.
the small space that we have, and you're seeing the nice rotation. But that's just one ad format. What happens if Matt selects something like beaches? Well, then we can serve a contextually relevant ad. In this case, Kayak is a popular website and application for travel. But in this case, when you click on the ad, we take you to deep within the Android marketplace so that the user can download the app. Okay, that's another important ad format. Let's show you another.
Yeah, that's probably true. Robert Bigelow points out that
a third format.
Steve's
for
never going to
brand
play to the
advertising.
geeks because
In other words,
geeks
a
are too
banner
bloody-minded
ad
to become
an advertiser has decided to
uncritical
convey
Apple
their
fanboys.
message through an image. We support that. How about another category? And this is something that we're announcing available today. And that's an expandable ad format. One of the things that we've seen through our research is that users, if at all possible, would like to stay within the context of the application they're using. So in this case, when Matt selects that Volkswagen ad, it expands right out. You can look at that ad, and when he's done with it, he can simply make it slide right back in. And we think that's great for advertisers, and we think that's great for users. That expandable format is available today. Let me show you another brand new one we're making available today. This is an expandable ad format. This is a Flickster application. And why don't you expand that ad out? In this case, it's not just display, it's rich media.
This is direct response to Apple's iAd platform. Very similar.
And they're even beating Apple to the release date.
And the
This
movie
is
will
today,
go
you
ahead
said.
and start.
Yeah, interesting.
Matt, don't watch the movie.
Apple is like what, like
Come
this
back.
fall? It was pretty far out, wasn't it?
Let me show you another ad.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's in 4.0, so it might be sooner, but they are definitely beating them.
This is also an expandable.
You're
ad
watching
format.
live coverage
But in
of
this
Google
case,
I.O.,
this
the
expandable
second
ad
day
format
keynote, and a very interesting keynote covering right now the next version of Google's telephone operating system. No, I should say operating system for mobile devices, really, Android. This is version 2.2 he's showing, and codenamed Froyo for frozen yogurt. Breaking news coverage on This Week in Tech and the Network is brought to you by Slingbox. Use Slingbox to watch your favorite TV shows when you're away from home. Now available at Best Buy. Visit slingbox.com to learn more. We love Slingbox.
And that's incredibly valuable. Let me talk about another ad format.
Might as well do an ad while they're talking about
Expandable
ads.
format with a very clever twist. Matt, why don't you expand this one out? It includes a map.
So far they're really talking about new API features in version 2.2 of Android. We weren't here at the beginning, so I don't know if he said anything about availability yet. Carriers, of course, will have to push it out. It can come out pretty quickly on Google's Nexus 1. I suspect Verizon's going to try hard to get these updates out quickly.
Now, some of these features you said will be available today, so I guess maybe they're rolling some of these
Today,
out
if you get, before 2.2?
or possibly into the 2.1. You think?
I suspect first of all, developers are going to have to include this in their application. So available to developers today is probably what it is. And there's a little freeze on the stream. We're watching this on YouTube. If you want to watch it without our comments, and I would understand that, you can watch it at youtube.com/Google Developers.
You're seeing an immersive ad format delivered by a great advertising company called Medialets. But because the advertiser, the
Medialets is the technology here.
Double-click to serve the ads. Double-click is open to have any ads show up. And that's what it means to be open. That we serve the most relevant ad to the user, sometimes from Google, sometimes not. But you, the
Kevin Marks says in the chat room, or the live wave, doing direct comparisons is one thing. Adding a snark to every feature makes him look defensive. It's true.
To learn more about our advertising solution.
You know now who Google's worried about.
That's right, yeah.
Google.com.
Well, you kind of guess it, but...
yeah, I think it's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Actually, Steve Jobs is pretty snarky, too. I mean, almost every feature he ever rolled out
good point.
was a dig at Google or Microsoft or somebody, Adobe.
All 5,000 of you. And we're going to sweeten the deal a little bit. If you go sign up, we will give you $100 free advertising credit to start learning the system and
probably use that.
your apps in the Android marketplace. So please go try that out.
Would you say we'll use it for TWiT things?
I think we would probably use that, for the TWiT app.
One of the most powerful ways to demonstrate what I talked about at the beginning, that innovation comes from all levels of the stack, is to highlight one of my favorite devices. This is the device by HTC. It's the Evo device.
Ah, the
Evo.
Evo.
Several things
Mine's coming any day now.
One thing I love about the device is it's absolutely
fact,
gorgeous.
I'm hoping it'll come today.
4.3-inch screen. I also love how fast it is.
I'd love them to say it's going to ship with 2.2.
I love the Sprint network. It's a 4G network. Now, you know what a 4G network can do?
Boy, some Sprint love here.
10 megabits per second. Imagine what you can watch on this device at 10 megabits per second.
If you live in one of the 27 cities that have it.
Has a great little stand. So you can just set it on the desk, or if you're on an airplane, just set it right there and watch your content. It's got a great battery. It's got HDMI output. It's got a camera that's 8 megapixels. And that will do 720p HD.
This is interesting. I think Google's really kind of backing off on the Nexus 1.
Is that in partnership with Sprint and HTC, Google is going to make this device available to every one of you today.
Oh my God!
Wow!
They just won over. They just won over a lot of developers. A lot of developers. Holy cow!
Every person there's getting one free.
They're getting a free Evo.
Wow.
They've already got an Android or a Motorola Droid. Gina's pretty happy.
Wow!
Wow!
For those of you who
is
are watching
right.
on YouTube, I'm sorry.
Adam Pash is
Remember to
unhappy.
register next year, quickly. I think you're going to love that device. We ask you to do two things. Number one, don't run out right now. After the keynotes are over, we're going to make it available all day until 6 p.m., so you'll have plenty of time to get this device.
Wow, what's the best Jobs ever gave away? An Apple Pro mouse?
Yeah, no, that's pretty fantastic. They've already got a Droid or a Nexus 1, and now they're getting an Evo as well. They're getting two phones.
Thank you for voting on the side of openness and choice.
Thank you for voting on the side of openness and choice.
Please keep building those great apps.
Gina's pretty happy.
Now, we're at the halfway point this morning.
The ticket is $400, she points out, but they got $400 worth of phones.
If you'd like to see the next step in the evolution of Android and where we're about to go next, hang tight. To introduce the next section, I'd like to invite up the product lead for a new initiative, Rishi Chandra. Rishi, come on up on stage.
You're watching live coverage of Google I/O Day 2. Leo Laporte and Erik Lanigan at the TWiT Cottage. We're watching the Google stream from YouTube.
Thank you, Vic. And thank you for all being here. We're going to have some fun today. I'm going to introduce you to Google TV.
All right.
A new platform.
This coverage brought to you by Slingbox. Thank you, Slingbox, for making this breaking news coverage possible.
A new platform that we believe will change the future of television.
I'm really excited about this one.
But
I am too.
Before we start talking about the future, let's talk a little bit about the present. I try to pull together a few interesting facts to just help convey how important TV is to the world today. So let's just go through those facts really quickly. First interesting fact, 5 hours per day. That's the average amount of time an American spends in front of the television. And in fact, people are watching more TV now than they ever were in the past. It's pretty amazing. Second interesting fact, $70 billion. That's the annual advertising spend in the U.S. alone.
We're trying to get
on
just
TV.
1% of that
There's still
right now.
no better medium to reach a wider and broader audience than the television.
Wider and broader, yes.
And third interesting fact, 4 billion TV users worldwide. 4 billion. That's just staggering.
They showed us yesterday that TV viewing was the only form of media that did not change, did not drop,
or the PC
because of the
market, which
internet.
has 1 billion.
Right.
For a developer.
Joining us right now, Kevin Marks. Hey, Kevin, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it.
And the reality is,
nice to see you.
You've been watching the keynote from the comfort of your own home, as we have. Any thoughts so far? It's very compelling conversation about Froyo, I thought.
They've been showing some interesting stuff. I think Vic's been a bit heavy on the Apple dissing, but
yeah, you pointed out in the wave that it's almost a sign of weakness to be slamming a competitor with so much snark all the time.
Wait, I don't think they are weak. I think they're very,
they're strong now.
They're doing, but it could be a little bit more gracious about it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And actually, to many people, that's actually pretty comforting.
So just chime in anytime you want, Kevin. I don't know if they do these kinds of things in Britain, but we're just going to be Mystery Science Theater 3000 and talking.
They're happening on my mobile
Recognize that idea.
PC. And that's really being driven by the web. Right? The web has completely transformed the PC space, and much more recently transformed the mobile space with the introduction of the smartphone. But even
it's sad you couldn't get a ticket, I would imagine, once you saw that everybody's getting an Evo.
I suspect that was why the tickets sold out. It's like, clearly Vic's going to be Oprah again and give everyone a phone.
Yeah.
So everyone said, oh.
But two phones. Two phones. They got a Droid and now they got an Evo. Yeah.
One for each ear, yeah.
My favorite sports, my favorite shows, my favorite movies.
This is an event for developers. You're a developer. At Ribbit, you do, in fact, a Google Wave gadget, and you've developed for years.
What ends up happening?
Do you think this is the kind of conversation, the kind of keynote developers get excited about?
I think that the stuff that Vic showed for Android was very exciting. I'm being very happy about that. Bunch of new features. The App Store changes were very good. That's exactly what we wanted. The ability to browse the stuff, download it straight away, pay for it, and have it appear on your phone is exactly right, and far better than what they had before. So there's definite steps forward there.
Yeah, and very competitive, I think, to the iPhone.
Yeah.
It's not a PC, it's not a phone, or anything in between. So, how do we actually start bringing these two worlds together? Well, I'll be the first to admit that we're not the first one to make the attempt on this, right? Many people have tried.
What kind of device do you expect here? An Apple TV style device?
Will actually be connected to the web. But if you look at the data today, it's still pretty limited adoption.
What would they do hardware? It seems like they're more of a...
3 reasons.
So you say the Xbox is limited adoption?
Today just haven't made much traction. They have 3 major limitations.
Compared to what?
First limitation. They all try to dumb down the web for TV. Here's the problem when you try to dumb down the web. Then you're effectively recreating the web. Does that sound familiar to people in this room? It's WAP all over again.
Yeah, WAP, which is the web, right? the small web browser.
And what we learned in the
web access protocol, something like that.
Doesn't scale. Maybe you'll get
it was a cell phone.
50 apps, maybe 100.
It was ugly.
It was very ugly. And it was the only way a phone could render a web page for a long time.
Yeah, all text.
Second limitation. They're all closed. Closed does not work anymore. Once a user experiences the freedom to go anywhere,
Quint, for those who want to watch the keynote directly, youtube.com/Google Developers.
Many of these solutions today make you choose between TV.
We really aren't in a position to just stream
that user has to hit that
the Google keynote. We're trying to add content, if not value.
You've lost 90% of them because they don't know how to get back. And the reality is,
this is all pitch. This is all set up.
TV or web, they're going to choose TV. That's the experience they know.
So they're talking about bringing the full web to your TV with presumably the exact same interface and
we believe
rendering of a regular web page.
But how is the question? Is be Intel's wireless display? What are they going to use?
And the best of what the web has to offer today, and bringing them into a single seamless experience.
I can't imagine them selling a box.
It really is about how do we make TV and web better.
They've got Sony and Logitech on board.
I'm very happy to introduce Google TV.
Let's see it. Remember, Google makes its money by getting you to use the internet more.
Where TV meets
period.
web, and web meets TV. Now, before we dive into the demo, which I know you guys are all anxious for,
so you think Sony
I want you to
Logitech?
remember 4
Oh,
ways
well, they were part of the rumor
that
from
we believe
yeah.
we are going to
So the
redefine
box.
television experience. First,
And Logitech yesterday pledged support for that web
less
encoder.
time
So I
finding
think
and more time watching.
Well, Quinn, if
your
you're on the go, we'll try to let you hear the important stuff.
Second,
How
we're
about
gonna also
that?
show you how you can control and personalize what you watch and when you watch it. Third,
This is all sell
we're
right
going to
now.
make your existing TV content much more interesting.
We're waiting for the
I'll show you how.
payoff.
And finally, we're going to make your TV much more than a TV. All right, so let's dive into the demo. And to do the demo, I'd like to introduce Vincent Thoreau, my engineering counterpart and partner on Google TV. Please welcome him.
I wonder if they'll use a Wii-style remote. I can't wait to see how are you going to control the web from your TV and see it all. Are they going to?
Well, there's a big TV. That's a 60-inch screen they got there.
So why don't we turn on the
Kevin Marks says he has a Mac Mini plugged into his TV. That's the way a lot of people do it. And I
All right.
think with that clicker.tv we saw
Here's what
yesterday.
you're going to see.
Well, that was a 10-foot interface.
Yeah.
Google TV starts with TV.
And there you go. That's
Not that novel
TV
nonsense.
for you.
But this works with your existing TV feed that you have already. The reality is users spend 4 to 5 hours a day in front of this device. You cannot take anything away from them. You only can add and enhance it. And that's what we've done. So you can see here, you can do all the normal things you'd expect, right? I can change channels, I can access my DVR, I can access my guide, just like you expect. And I can even use your existing remote control to make that all happen. Now what Vincent's using here
What is
is a
this?
special remote control that allows you to do is a universal remote control, but also can do a lot more. And to be clear, this is not the actual input device. We're working with some great partners.
I wish we could see it. All we're seeing is the TV output.
This is just a random wireless keyboard we're using for the demo.
Okay, so they've got a random wireless
get started.
keyboard. So there must be
The
some
first thing
box.
you do when you turn on a TV is you usually want to find something to watch. Okay, well, generally how you do that today? Well, you use the guide. Yes, the guide. Now, the guide worked pretty well when there are a limited number of channels. Now that there's
I got
hundreds of
Dish
channels, it works a little bit
playing
less well.
here.
But also, it's pretty inflexible. What if I just want to find out what time is the next Giants game? Or show me all the upcoming episodes of Seinfeld. Just can't do it. And that got us thinking.
Now, remember, they have
What
search
if
for
we rethought the
the
navigation of TV?
They were trying that out
Made it
with
much
the
more like the web.
in-house Googlers.
Right? The
And
web has a
Dish,
very
that's right. I remember
simple
now the...
An elegant model.
Oh, jeez.
I can't control what's on TV.
Well, that's the point, isn't it?
Wait, do you think they'll
All right.
superimpose a signal from a dish or cable company? Or are
I
they gonna
can't figure out
partner with
what they're talking
some
about.
kind of cable card going?
Well, yeah, the trial was with Dish, at least of Google's
Web has a
TV
very
search.
simple and
So
elegant model, how you find information. A search box that takes you where you want to go. You remember
this
that
this
first
might
time
be kind of a dud. I
you
don't
used Google
really
search?
see people as Adam Pash is
Right?
saying in
When
the
you use it on the web and you
live
use it
wave.
on
I
the
don't see
TV,
people using
that feeling of
keyboards
empowerment that you had,
on the
we
coffee
wanna give you
table. I
that
just don't
exact
think. I
same
think
experience.
What was Microsoft's old
On
thing,
your
Web
television.
TV?
yeah.
In the
I just
90s?
don't see it. It's never
Let's
worked.
go ahead and oops.
I'd love to. My
Sex in the City.
keyboard is not
Great.
cooperating right now.
Yeah, it's not.
Sorry, my
the
input
demo's not working.
Yes. Can I
Okay.
keep trying?
I hate to say it, but this is a perfect application for the iPad.
Well, the good news is I have another keyboard.
Use the
I have
iPad
another
as sort of a
box.
universal remote.
Yeah.
And browse TV.
Okay.
You can do that
Now,
now for Comcast.
if they have a
Switch
Google
to the other
tablet,
box.
right, Comcast has an app.
Nope.
Kevin says
Okay. It was maybe a little bit slow.
that his Comcast remote has more buttons than a
No,
keyboard.
let's switch to the other.
Do you think, Kevin, people are going to want to sit
Can we
behind
switch over to the other
a
box?
keyboard and a mouse on the coffee table? I mean,
Car for the GPS, we have to turn a knob to type something.
Yeah,
Give me a keyboard or a screen with something I can type. We can live with that. I think
Yeah.
there's too much defensiveness here.
yeah. I don't understand this product, frankly. We'll see. It's not working at the
I
moment.
figured today would be a pretty safe thing to watch.
And he's basically using a wireless keyboard with, I guess, a built-in mouse to try to navigate it.
Although I think you're right, Leo. If they do create some
Sorry about
Google
this.
tablets, that could be an ideal device to control something like this. And
Yeah.
they already said that the keyboard is just a...
That's what they want to show, is a tablet.
Yeah. They said the keyboard is just temporary off the shelf for this demo.
Let's go ahead and try it. I don't know if it switched over. There you go.
All right, here we go. Now
All right,
we're
sorry
seeing
about that,
something.
guys.
All right.
Thank you for your patience. Okay. So like I was saying before, we want to enable an entirely new experience of how you find information.
Oh, look at
This
that.
is what we call
You're
a
right.
search box.
It's superimposed
It
on
takes
top of the
you
television.
wherever you want to go, across both TV and
Up there, really? Not for the
it's
area.
simple to use as a Google search. So let me give you an example. So let's say one of my favorite channels is MSNBC. So let's go ahead and type in MSNBC.
I'm sorry. This is not going anywhere. This is
What you're going
ridiculous.
to see here a variety of different results. Some from the web and some from TV. And you'll see, let's actually go down. It looks like MSNBC News Live is on right now.
I
You hit
just don't
enter,
get this product.
And it tunes you directly to your show.
See, it seems very 90s.
Yeah. Microsoft's tried to get companies to
Pretty cool.
cable companies to use a set-top box
I now have
based
instant
on
access to
Microsoft's products for years. They finally made an Xbox 360 because they just couldn't get them to do
Let's
it.
actually pull down the quick search box again.
What does this require? A little doohickey attached? This is not. I can't understand this product.
Wouldn't most people rather have a second screen, like a laptop or an iPad on their lap for doing searches?
Yeah,
while
what
they're
if they
watching
did the
TV?
same thing they're doing with Android, where you search on your TV and it sends it, or search on your computer and it sends it to the TV?
Oh, that'd be cool.
We can
Right.
actually
Use your laptop
record
as
it
an
directly
interface
from
or
the
a
quick
tablet.
Yeah, I really don't want to be doing this on my TV. And
So, like,
this must. Go ahead.
This is the mouse cursor on the I have this with the Mac Mini, and the mouse cursor on the TV is this awkward experience.
Right.
It doesn't fit well.
Not at all. Yeah.
VR. We can search the entire web to help you find interesting content. So actually, I had a friend
trouble
who
with
recommended the show to me called House, right? It's on Fox. So let's go ahead and actually pull down the quick search box and take a look.
Little House on the Prairie.
You watch. Let's see what he gets. House is kind of a generic word to search for.
It's managed to type it yet. You know?
Yeah, the demo's still not working. I think that this is
You guys have a lot of.
not a home run here.
We're using Bluetooth. to connect
Ken
this show,
Shepardson just said that they're going to embed this in Sony TVs.
Well, that's the key, isn't it? It's got to come in the TV. Probably come in a dish box, I would imagine. It'll be part of the dish
Try the
interface.
other box.
But it's almost as if you're saying we're gonna add
Out of Wi-Fi.
some capabilities.
Try the other box.
All right,
To
can
a
we switch to the
DVR.
box? I'm sorry about this, guys. Again.
Add search to TiVo. Well, that's nice. It's not a revolution.
Why not partner with TiVo? You know,
Yeah.
do people want to have another device they have to buy?
Right.
Want to try again?
He's really having trouble getting it working too, which is not helping.
There you go. You have
Here you go.
It's very un-Steve-like.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
It was doing so
Why don't we
well.
try the query for House again.
See, what is missing now are the
Losing
snarky
the
comments
connectivity.
about the people who set up his demo.
I don't hear a lot of anti-Apple snark right now.
Dynamic shifting right now.
The thing is, there are open choices right now, like XBMC and Plex. There's a lot of good open choices out there right now to do this kind of a thing. The Boxy Box.
They said they did switch it. There you go. It came up again.
Here you go.
So he's getting that
Okay.
Nicholas
Turn your
Chikoff's
cell phones
quick search
off.
box.
There you go.
I can't compete with you guys.
A little too much RF in that auditorium.
Keep losing them.
Trying not to fall off.
Let's see.
There
if
you
we
go.
can- I think it's a little.
Do we know yet where this demo is going?
We switch to the other
What are
box.
they searching
They're
for?
going to search for house. At some point, they're going to search for house. It's a long way to go. See, then this is exactly the problem.
Voila.
Do you want to
Can you give
sit
it
in your living room saying, come on, search for house, or do you want to just
it's frozen.
freaking change the freaking channel?
Well, I don't want to do either. I wanted the DVR to record stuff ahead of time and play it later, which is what I do now.
Yeah. You enter a house into the DVR.
And why a keypad, keyboard? Where's that voice activation, voice that they just showed? In the
This should come off an Android phone. This should, if my Android phone did this, Nicolas Cage's animal sex diet. They're really having trouble at this point.
Again, it can't help what's connecting.
Yeah,
This
imagine
is-
just speaking.
This is an absolute car wreck going on right now.
We're gonna change the channel one of these.
This
times.
might be the worst demo in history.
They were doing so well.
He was doing so well.
And
Poor
it
Vic.
all just came crashing.
Flop sweat just springing
Let me
out.
see if I can pull this up again. Sorry.
Oh,
about
this is painful.
Now, see, wouldn't you rather just speak your TV query into your Android phone?
Yeah,
Or better
yeah.
yet, just control the whole
You know,
TV from that?
wouldn't that be impressive? If you picked up your phone and you said house, and the TV showed house, then I'd be
That'd be cool,
impressed.
yeah.
I have nothing.
Or record
We're
House
really gonna
Weekly
need
or
people
something,
turn off
Right.
their
and
phones.
delete
I really
old
apologize.
episodes.
And I think a lot of this functionality is already built into Dish DVR and TiVo.
Well, at this point, they should just start describing what they had intended to show, because this is not. It's just kind of crashing and burning right now.
Oh, Kevin, now come on, a little too much glee coming out of Kevin there.
It's not glee. It's funny.
It's funny, and anybody who's ever done on-stage demos or on TV live demos is very sympathetic with Vic right now. This is not fun.
Yeah.
This is a very painful thing for
Going with
somebody.
your
And you got to decide at some point to move on.
Yeah, where are their backup
1
devices?
second, sorry guys.
1
have
second,
another
sorry guys. Ken Shepardson, this is what Voodoo, owned by Walmart, is doing with LG,
Got it.
Toshiba, Sanyo, Samsung, and Vizio. So
All right,
Voodoo's
we're gonna
already
try our
doing it.
best to
VUDU.
keep this going
Interesting.
so we
Ken, you
can,
can come in and sit in if you'd like.
Keep connectivity.
All right.
All right.
He's going to just hand me Post-it notes.
okay, sounds good.
All right, I'm going to keep trying. Again,
Yes.
sorry about this. Don't move.
Ah, finally, house.
All right.
Boy, that was a long
Sorry
way to
about that
go.
again, guys. Okay.
I have
We
to say, this is
decided
making
we did a
Hulu
search
look good,
for
isn't it?
house.
It sure is. And you kind of wonder,
Series results.
why isn't Google doing that kind of a thing? And, web-enabled TV watching. Isn't that the future, is a la carte TV over the web? Why isn't Google doing that?
Well,
Why?
did you see in their search results, they showed Fox, Hulu, and Amazon.
Ah, so they are showing internet TV. All right.
It looks like they're trying to let
Oh
you
yeah,
find
look
it
at that.
from-
There you go. Yeah.
That's happened over the last few years.
Okay,
You get
that's good.
episodic content.
So
Directly from the
cross-platform
web, whether it be
search.
for-
That's going to be
for
key to
free
IPTV.
on sites like Fox.com.
And this is one of the issues with IPTV is that you've got all these different sources for content, and it's very difficult to figure out where it is. That's what Boxy's trying to solve, and others.
Because to a user, it
That
doesn't
makes
really
sense.
matter.
Does Google have a stake
Where I
in
get my
Clicker?
favorite
That's not their
content,
own
whether it be
property,
live
is it?
TV,
But
whether
they
it
were
be
showing
No, I
it
think it was
yesterday.
just a demo, but yeah, this would be a natural for
You
Clicker,
just want
right?
a quick and easy access to it. So let's actually go ahead and click on one of them. Still not working?
So you've got television and online. You've got the
Let's just go
distinction
back.
in those
Let's
columns
go ahead and
there.
click on
All right.
We can see
Probably
here,
an
I can
artificial
I can
distinction, but you
actually
could get rid of that later.
record it in the future on TV,
So I guess
or
you're-
I can just go
Look at
to
that.
one of my favorite
You could
sites.
choose
Let's go
from
check out
Fox, Hulu, or Amazon to watch.
Now, what you're going to see here is
Can
we're
you
going to go
record?
directly to Amazon's page.
Oh, that's interesting.
The transition from TV to web was totally seamless. I didn't have to get a different remote control. I had to change my
I'd like to be able to search for content as well as titles,
The
right?
web became a natural extension of the TV
Is it
itself.
like genres, like search for tech?
Yeah.
So,
What if they
I
sought
can go to
search
Amazon,
for Google
and
I/O
here I can
coverage,
actually
and we
play the
showed up?
episode.
That would be
Buy
good
the
news
episode, I
for
can
somebody
actually
like
buy
us.
2 episodes, or I can just play a trailer. Let's go ahead and play the trailer.
And I wonder if they'll end up showing all search results or just people with whom they've
And
partnered.
now,
Yeah.
I'm just watching TV,
I presume because it's Google, it'll search the whole
just like that.
universe.
Right? It's being streamed directly to my television using a standard browser.
Yeah, and I wonder what happens if you choose Hulu, because doesn't Hulu?
Now I can actually go back.
I mean, what
and
is
say I wanna find another
Hulu? They don't want to be on a
episode.
big
I could
screen
just easily
TV.
Go back to the series page, or I could with one.
So
button,
Chris in
go back
Malta
to
points out it took him 10 minutes to change the freaking channel. This is exactly what's wrong with
We gotta
computer
pick a
TV and
different, channel
TV
next time.
convergences.
No iTunes in the search results, I noticed.
Yeah, good point.
But
Good
just
point.
like that, the TV and web became a single experience. Right? I can navigate between TV and web. I can get access to my favorite content in a very easy way. So search just makes things easy to find your information. But it's not the only way. Right? There are times when I don't know what to search for. I just want to lean back and browse. We thought of that as well. We can be much smarter about how you browse for your favorite content as well. So let's actually pull up the home screen. Now the home screen here is actually your quick launcher to all your favorite content and applications. And you can customize it as you see fit for a user. Now one of the things we've done is that we've actually worked with some of the content aggregators out there, like Amazon VOD and Netflix, to actually embed the experience directly inside Google TV. And we could actually work with as many as we need. So what you're going to see here is, let's go ahead and go to the Netflix folder. You can see this is actually a personalized view specifically for me. Here's my instant queue. Here's my suggestions as well as what I recently watched. So let's go
Looks
ahead
a
and check
lot
out
like
suggestions.
Boxy, doesn't it?
Now the great thing here is these suggestions are all based off what I've watched before on Netflix. So it's personalized. It's just smarter. And I can access all of this instantly, right? So I can go to 24. That sounds like an interesting show.
And Leo, you made a good point. Will this technology extend to independent content creators, or will it only be the big guys who really don't even need something like this? They've already got the cable boxes and
there's a ton of them.
Things.
Okay.
Well, if it's dish, it's going to be whoever you can get on your dish. If it's if it's a regular TV, I don't know how they do that.
But we can do more than that. The web actually has a lot more content than just your favorite TVs and shows.
Here we go.
Right? Over the last few years, there's been an explosion of compelling online video. Whether it be from long-tail content creators.
That's me.
Like you find on YouTube. Or professional studios like ESPN or CNN. Well, we can all make that accessible to you as well, which has never been accessible before. So let's pull down the quick search box again. And this time, instead of putting in a search query, let's type in a URL. Let's type in youtube.com. And we can go directly
Mother's Day MILF. That's great. Right up top. That's great. Yeah.
Fitting in with the daytime TV's content earlier.
And now I have access to
which is worse, TV or the YouTube?
And the great thing here is it's just as easy to go to any site on the web as it is to go to any channel on your television. Right? It's just seamless. It's just integrated. And of course, we can go through. There's millions of videos on YouTube. We already showed you some interesting stuff on TV. Let's avoid the YouTube ones. But there's a lot of great
you're going to make some friends at the Googleplex.
But the cool thing here is that it's not just about YouTube. We can go much further than just YouTube. And the other great benefit of the web is not only is it unlimited in terms of the video content you can get, we can actually allow it so that you can be much more personalized and have more control of your experience. So let me give you an example. So this might resonate with those who have young kids in the audience. So I have a 2-year-old son, and he loves to watch Sesame Street. Actually, let me correct myself. He loves to watch Elmo on Sesame Street. Right? He actively dislikes all the other characters, which makes it impossible to actually watch a full episode of Sesame Street. Well, thankfully, Sesame Street has solved my problem.
It's not Vic.
So
Who is this?
Let's actually pull down the
search
box again.
It was somebody else. That's right. Ranish, somebody?
And here again, you're going to see different results. I can see Sesame Street's coming up on Friday. I can actually go directly to SesameStreet.org or actually even see a video on YouTube. But in this case, the top result is actually a bookmark that I've already set. The quick search box gives me immediate access to all my bookmarks. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Now, Sesame Street has a ton of great, compelling video content. All the content they've ever had. I don't even know how many years Sesame Street's been around. It's all available for you instantaneously. But the really cool thing... I'd be
so much more impressed if this were an Android product
based off my
interfacing to my TV.
Or in this case, the interest of my son. So you'll see these are actually just Elmo videos.
And where's the feature to send a video to your phone?
And
then leave
there
the
you go.
house.
Oh, they'll never do that.
This is one of my favorites.
That's
what
just
you're going to see here
recipe for piracy.
No, imagine buying it on Amazon, video
and having it go to your
phone.
Have it go to your phone. Absolutely, absolutely. And that's where this is interesting because that's really that's what an open solution would do. And this is where Google is kind of bridging open and proprietary.
Yeah, a minute ago with Android, I mean, we saw them be the most open smartphone platform possible. And now here, this
is really closed.
So far, they seem as closed as a Comcast or anyone else.
Yeah.
Amazing here.
Difficult for them to play both sides of that fence.
This is something you just can't do on traditional TV today. Okay, let me give another example. So back in January...
It's a very different division that developed this product, you could see.
Totally blanked out when I got home and forgot that I had missed the State of the Union speech. You're always funny, friendly ones. So I totally missed the State of the Union speech. I came home and thought, okay, great. I missed it a couple hours later. I'd love to watch it. But on TV today, I was actually basically stuck. Right,
and what's going to be the
interface
to browse the web like they just showed and see very small text on the regular web from 10 feet away on your device.
Analysis about the speech, but not giving me the speech itself. Well, now that can change. Let's go ahead and pull down again the quick search box and type in 2010 State of the Union. And again, you're going to see a variety of different results. Here, there's one on YouTube. Let's actually go ahead and go to the web and actually check out what else is there. You can actually get text to the speech.
This is very similar to Apple TV or, I guess,
there's no web on Apple.
The hacked Apple TV, basically, with Boxy. My Apple TV has a browser on it. Can do much of the same kinds of stuff, yeah.
This is big. right? Because now I can access the content I care about whenever I want, right? I'm not constrained by thinking in terms of channels and shows. And sure, sometimes that content will actually be a show itself, but sometimes it won't be. What if I just want to check out the latest SportsCenter clip from last night's NBA playoff game? Or let's say I want to see the latest news segment on the Gulf oil spill. Well, now you can. You are in control of where you go on the web. And the great thing here is that none of these sites had to do anything specific to make it work with Google TV. All this content is already available to 1 million channels overnight. And it's all easily accessible by the quick search box. Okay, so now we talked a little bit about making search and browse much easier to help you find content, as well as how we can put you in control of what content you want to watch. Well, let's talk about how we can actually make what you watch on TV much more interesting. Although in this case, it is pretty interesting already. So I'm actually a huge sports nut, right? I watch tons and tons. I'll watch anything. I'll watch golf, basketball, baseball, whatever's on. So in this case, it's NBA playoff time. So let's go ahead and watch an NBA game.
Yeah, this is nothing.
Now, obviously,
we haven't seen in any home theater PC, really.
Last night's game, which was a great game, by the way.
Yeah, so they need to hurry up and get to what's different and new about this.
Yeah, I mean, Windows Media Center's done this for years, right?
I like to engage in the game a lot more as well. And I also play a lot of fantasy sports, which means I want to check out my fantasy team. I want to check out box scores. I want to check out latest player news as well. Well, what if I can do that directly from my TV? Well, now you can. So Vince is going to take the TV feed and put it into a picture-in-picture mode. And now I have open access to the entire web to find whatever content I like to match what I'm watching. So in this case, let's actually pull up the box
do that when they've
score.
got all these other screens in their house? They got laptops, iPads, Androids, you know.
This is not for us.
10 other screens.
I don't know who it's for, but it's not for us. It's not for a geek. But at the same time, you have to be a geek to kind of set it up, I'm thinking.
I can actually track
if you got
what's
I don't know. This
instantly.
if it comes in TVs, it basically is a competitor to Voodoo or Yahoo widgets, or there's a number of people doing this kind of thing.
And what's interesting here is this is a pretty simple feature. You can flip back and forth between the TV and the content behind it.
I'd do this on a screen.
But this is totally
laptop
transformed
screen.
how I
You don't
watch
do this
sports.
on your big screen
Now
TV.
when I'm watching
See the
the
mouse?
Masters, I can
That's not what we want.
Right on your TV.
Yeah, that's not what we want.
That's the problem I have with the Mac Mini as well.
Yeah, you got a mouse floating on your screen.
Yeah.
I can be watching American Idol and check out the latest Twitter stream of what people are saying about the contestants.
People already do that. They do it on their laptop. They do it on their iPad. This is not...
right? On the advertising side,
it's not what they want on their big screen. I don't want this on my
but
plasma.
I
I'm
can't
sorry.
do anything with it. Well, now I can just put it into picture-in-picture
This is
mode
a confusion between the lean forward and lean back media. And I think that this is...
every ad on TV has the potential to become interactive.
I mean, maybe I'm being grumpy. I don't know, but it just seems like this is not
your TV content
nothing
just
new
got a lot more
and
interesting.
probably nothing anybody wants.
We hear they might be getting to something now. They just said that every ad on TV could be interactive. So
we've done
great!
Only about
please don't click the Charmin.
There's a whole bunch of other entertainment experiences that happen in the living room as well, where the TV can play a part, like music and games and social and photos. Well, what if you can do that directly from your TV? Well, with open access to the web, now you can.
Google.com/TV.
So let's go ahead and pull up the home screen again.
Is that active?
Yeah, Kevin says it's active now.
Let me try this.
It was coming. It was coming. Give it a second.
Sign up for updates.
The keyboard works fine.
So all you can do is watch a demo or sign up for updates at this point.
Oh, they scooped their own keynote.
So let's try to go to bookmarks if we can.
They beat the demo.
Sony and Logitech as partners.
Yep.
There we go. So let's go to bookmarks, and we can take a look at
Kevin
a whole
says,
bunch
is this
of
the one
content
guy at Google
that
who
I've
watches
already bookmarked ahead of
sports?
time. And what's interesting here
He's the
is
guy
not
who laughed at the
I'm not just
Sports
bookmarking
Illustrated
websites.
jokes
I can also
yesterday, says
bookmark
Gina.
channels, right? My favorite TV content.
Leo, I think their
And
2-minute
I can
demo
also
on
bookmark all the other
google.com/TV
cool
is actually more informative than this
web.
entire
Oh,
keynote
that's so
far.
funny.
So in this case, let's actually check out Flickr. Now, one of the interesting things here is that many people today would consider their smartphone to be the best photo viewer in their house, right? Because it's just there and you can actually check out photos. I would argue
I'm not sure
your
that's the
best
case.
photo viewer is that gorgeous 50-inch screen sitting today in your living room already.
Probably true.
And now,
this again is all stuff you can.
Which is why I have the Mac Mini plugged into it, so that it's screensaver set to photos.
Right.
The best photo viewer.
And Apple TV does that.
And Apple TV does that. Yeah, it's just like.
And a hacked Apple TV with ATV will even do this precise thing.
I'm not sure why slideshows got around.
And we can go actually way more than that.
They're desperate for anything at this point.
The slideshow is so much better than the TV.
Yeah, just please put up Italy. Just put up Italy. Anything.
All my Facebook games. Think of music. I can go to Pandora. I can go to Rhapsody. I can go any one of my favorite music sites. Think of shopping.
Apple TV does have
Flickr.
Flickr.
Any
That's
shopping
right.
site, Gap or Gilt or whatever it might be. The web is unlimited. And now your TV is unlimited as well.
So Google kind of planting their flag and saying that the web is good enough for TV as it is. It doesn't need to have a different interface.
We talked about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to consider this in the context of YouTube and a play by YouTube really to be on a parity with television networks. So that's something they would have to do this to make YouTube be a player, right?
And have they shown anything yet that shows why this is better than just setting up a net top or just a home theater PC just on your own?
Well, you can do almost all of this with Roku even. I mean, they don't have the search, but they have something coming that's going to add it. Your cable box, yeah.
Your favorite content, whether it be your favorite channels, your favorite shows, or your favorite web content. We showed you how you can control and personalize what you watch based off the capabilities of the web today. We can also make your TV content much more interesting by enabling hybrid scenarios between TV and web. And then finally, we can enable your TV to be much more than a TV. It can be a game console. It can be a photo viewer. It could be a music player.
You mean like the Xbox 360?
So talk a little bit about how we actually made this all work. I'll pass it over to Vincent, who can actually talk about it.
Gina's unboxing her Evo now in the audience.
I
think everyone is.
Anybody here who watches TV. There's going to be TV sets, Blu-ray players, and companion set-top boxes. And they're going to be very easy to install because they're going to work with your existing cable or satellite box, no matter who your pay TV operator is. Okay, so what about the spec itself? Well, there are actually 4 key components to the Google TV hardware spec. Number 1, Wi-Fi and Ethernet built in, of course. Number 2, you're going to connect your existing cable or satellite box to the Google TV box using a regular HDMI cable.
This is like a Roku. It's a Roku.
Yeah. In addition, the Google TV box comes with
Apple's done so well with Apple
TV
TV.
built in, which is what we're going to use for control. Oh, by the way, in addition to this, we've also implemented a special IP protocol between the Google TV boxes and Dish Network set-top boxes. And that's the configuration that we're using today, and it gives us really tight integration with the pay TV box.
Just don't have a phone in the house.
For instance, that's how I was able to do a one-click recording schedule. Number 3, plenty of processing power so that we can browse the entire web. There's also going to be a GPU for enhanced 2D and 3D graphics.
It's a little computer.
And a dedicated DSP that can do video in high def and audio in surround sound.
This is something that is not in the Apple TV.
And then number 4, there's the Google TV input devices.
Yeah, they're
all going to include a keyboard and a pointing device so that we can actually navigate web pages. And our hardware partners have come up with designs that I think you're going to love. But let me tell you about
I wonder if this is an open
device that I'm carrying with me and that actually today saved my butt, which is my
it does work with his Android phone. All right.
So it's actually, if we can get back to the demo, it's actually already paired to my Google TV device.
Aha.
Well, they should have started with this.
It's actually paired to my Google TV device over Wi-Fi. All right, and of course, you know, the feature that I love about my Android remote is that now I can speak to my TV.
Aha!
Let me show you.
Good. So the whole crappy demo was to show you how good it could be.
Yeah.
Good morning, America. There you go. Looks like somebody's typing that.
No,
that's much better. Well, it looks better now, having seen the crap.
This was not Rishi typing in the background. Anyways, keyboard doesn't work.
We know the keyboards don't work.
So now you know it's true. It was actually the Android remote, sending audio samples to Google Voice Search backend, Google Voice Search backend, sending a search query back to my phone, then bouncing that query back to the Google TV box. And all this in real time, which I think is pretty cool. So let me show you something else. So Rishi here is carrying his own Android remote, which, by the way, is paired to the same box as I am, so that we can have two remote controls controlling the same box at the same time, so that we don't need to fight for the remote. And, of course,
that's interesting.
Rishi couldn't help it. While I was speaking, he was browsing the web, and he came up with a really neat website that he wants to share with us. But he doesn't want to share it on his small screen. He wants to share it on the big screen.
Oh, this is interesting. Now we're getting more interesting.
Well, let me see if the Wi-Fi is kicking me off back and forth. So let me see if I can.
This is getting more interesting. So we both have Android phones. I can share.
Try Wi-Fi in that room. Oh dear.
Yeah.
On.
Suddenly, everyone in the room now has 3 phones and a laptop.
That's a good point. They're all booting up their Evos.
Let's go ahead and take a look and see if I can.
Good luck.
On again and push it directly to the TV. This is.
Oh, now that's cool.
Voila.
Now that's cool. Now I'm interested. Okay, now I'm very interested. Oh dear. Oh dear. Poor Vic.
Wow. Rishi, that was a very special video that you shared with us.
Even better what we're watching than what we're watching on TV before.
Of course. All right. So at any rate, this is just the beginning. Why? Because actually we're going to publish this IP remote control protocol so that you developers can build your own apps and your own remote controls on the device of your choice, be it a PC, a smartphone, or a tablet.
Very
to
interesting.
The Google TV experience.
Now I'm more
So
interested.
that's pretty much the story about the hardware.
That's good news. So an open spec to talk to the box. You still need a Google TV box.
Rishi, do you want to tell us about the software?
Yeah, can we pull back the slides, please? Although I'd love to keep watching this video. It's actually pretty funny. All right. So let me talk a little bit about the software. So the Google TV has 3 components to the stack. The first is Android. We are built on Android 2.1, and we'll be upgrading to later versions of Android over time because we have the ability to do over-the-air updates.
Okay, that's
Second, the browser. We are Google Chrome. We needed a full web-compatible browser to be able to browse everything that's out there. We chose the fastest. And finally, if you want to be fully compatible with all the
it's got to be a $99 box if this is going to be compelling.
Need to have Flash.
What do you think the price point is?
We also have a full Flash 10.1 plugin as part of Google Chrome.
That's why they got about GPU.
And that's the software. But one thing we haven't talked
I think 99 at the most.
Yet is Android.
I think
but can they bring it in at 99?
Of being built
That's
on
tough.
Android and Chrome is
I suspect they'll subsidize it a bit.
Maybe, yeah.
To users.
But they could put ads on it. It could be that freemium model.
Did they show ad integration yet? Did they show any kind of revenue stream possibility from this? I don't think they did.
I think you can bet that there is some.
Yeah.
We'll bring back the demo. All right. Left of the great page we just were before.
$50? $199? I'm thinking $199 is going to be the best price point they could
quick search box.
Yeah, but at that point, you're
it's a little expensive.
It's like the price of a phone, though. The price
of my favorite websites or my favorite channels. I can also navigate to my favorite apps. So let's go ahead and type in Pandora.
Oh, that's interesting.
Market, actually, in this case, sorry.
Look at that. So you've got a good surround sound system.
And now you're going to see the mobile version of the Android market.
Well, there we go. Look at that. That's bizarre. That's just bizarre.
Oh, so you're browsing.
That's the Android
apps
marketplace.
On your TV?
Yeah.
If your application doesn't require phone-specific hardware, it should work on Google TV.
Interesting.
Now, let's go ahead and check out.
So write your apps for both.
Let's check out Pandora. We can do a search within the Android market.
Of course, we're selling the Google, the Android-specific, phone-specific API. But
so let's go ahead and open it.
Very interesting.
And again, Pandora's done nothing beyond just the mobile application here.
So you can install Android apps onto your Google TV box.
So you've got 1920 by...
So are they showing sort of a write once, deploy on any Android platform?
He said as long as it doesn't use phone-specific hardware capabilities, yeah.
So the great
I mean, do you
thing
think that would include like the camera and
yes, obviously, yeah. But if you're writing Pandora, you don't need to.
Applications.
Obviously.
And what's incredible here is that now my TV can be, again, much more than a TV.
So now if you're a developer, you have to develop
another cool feature that I wanted to
not only for multiple phones, but for a TV interface. But that's desirable.
About taking the mobile version of the Android market.
People only have to buy your app once and then run it on all their devices.
To actually do this demo, I'd like to bring up Brittany Bonet, a member of the Google TV team, to help out.
Yay, Brittany.
You know Brittany?
Yeah. She's good.
Okay, I'm just going to log in here real quick.
Okay.
This is starting to get a little interesting when you interface to Google phones.
Logged in? Okay.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and pull it up. So, like Vic showed you earlier
What is Rishi holding? Is that a...
You can take...
That's just a clicker for the slides, I guess.
And push it to your different phones. But you can also push it to other Android devices. In this case, you'll see on the top right, we actually have Google TV.
It's first woman in 2 days on the stage, by the way.
Assuming we're on the second box now, Vincent. So we might have to switch that.
Gina was commenting on that yesterday.
Yes.
Try other TV.
Okay.
Just scroll over it and let's just make sure it's on the second one. All right, let's try this. We have different TVs connected, so we'll do this in real time. But let's go ahead and take a look at the Twitter app.
Last thing I want is Twitter popping up on my TV.
So here, actually, why don't we go back? I think it's the other TV if you go to the top right.
Okay.
So the second one is where it says.
Now,
other
of
TV.
course, I doubt any of these apps are optimized for the 50-inch experience.
This is what I'm thinking about. Yeah, it's like this app that was designed for a phone that is now running on something that's like 2,000 pixels square.
Well, and Pandora looked horrible.
Give it a few seconds.
You know, panels are getting so cheap, especially lower quality ones. Do you think we'll ever get to a point where people have one screen that's just their TV, and then rather than like superimposing, changing the view, they'd have a separate screen that's showing these, you know, ancillary things, their Twitter.
Well, Microsoft did that. Remember with the PCs, they had the little tiny screens attached.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Didn't really catch on. Yeah, yeah.
Now we can create
it's a Vista
enhanced experiences around Android applications as well. And what's compelling here is not only can users now have consistent application across multiple
Adam Pash is pointing out this is the first time Android and Chrome have been paired.
Have additional devices to take your application. And now we can also enable you to create entirely new experiences.
Chrome is not the browser on the Android phone?
No.
Oh.
On Google TV.
Is it Google's own?
Optimized specifically for the living room.
Yeah, it's Google's own, but it's not Chrome.
We're giving you two application frameworks.
I don't know if it's WebKit-based.
Web apps.
Sideshow, that's right, Kevin.
Now,
Sideshow.
we have some work to do.
That was the Microsoft
so the Android market
screen
and the
product,
Google TV
little LCD screen.
Shortly after
Not so long ago, a few years ago.
But to give you a sense of where the platform is going, we want to give
Came
you
out with Vistas. It's 5 years old.
And to do that, I'd like to introduce Ambrish Kenge.
Android's browser is WebKit-based, okay. But it's not Chrome. Boy, Brittany didn't get a lot of time on stage.
No, what did she show?
She had another TV.
Thanks, Rishi. Today I would like to talk about
at this point you'd assume that Google is entirely staffed
with the Google TV platform
by East Indians.
Showcase a few example applications and websites. First of all, you can optimize for the TV screen. Well, most websites, as you would expect,
and one woman.
And many applications.
But now Colleen, so there'll be two women.
Yeah, the percentage of white women just went up 100%.
Guidelines on how to quickly enhance your website for a great TV experience.
No, nothing wrong with that Web 504. I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing it out.
Very different than Apple.
Just the beginning.
Yeah.
We want to empower the developer community to create
South
integrated
Asians.
experiences across web and TV content.
Corrected.
And to enable that, we will provide you with a set of web and Android APIs which will allow you to navigate TV content. For example, you can directly switch
the Google
to a
TV.
TV channel that you like.
It's built into a Sony
TV. You can record
TV.
a TV show, all directly from your websites and applications. Let's look at a few examples. First, I'd like to invite Hunter Walk from YouTube to showcase an exciting new YouTube site. Hunter?
Ah, new YouTube site. This might, Colleen went there to work in streaming video. I wouldn't be surprised at all if this is stuff Colleen knew about and will be working
we couldn't
on.
be more excited about Google TV. We really think this is the platform that starts to bring the interactivity of the web into the living room. And so we're proud to announce the development of YouTube Lean Back, which is meant to take
there's the
the entire
sit-forward
YouTube
lean
corpus,
back.
hundreds of millions of videos, and then turn them into an experience that you can just lean back.
And this is, as you said, Eric, this is all about really getting YouTube on the TV.
The first thing
Well,
you
isn't that
notice
called
is that when you
Apple
go to
TV,
YouTube Lean Back,
Boxy, you know, all these others?
Yeah.
There's no
Right, a big
browsing,
screen
no
interface to
searching, no
YouTube.
clicking.
These are those
It
great
behaves like you would
Google
expect
Chrome
television.
speed test
I love
ads.
those.
They were
They
wonderful.
were very good.
Yeah. And look at this is the new
One
interface.
very
Pull
important
down our
channel,
lower third here.
channel of you, a personalized video feed that's meant to be exactly.
So
the
there
content
was a
you
little
want.
thumbnail
For example,
scroll at
this
the
first
bottom.
video was favorited by my friend Simon. He was on YouTube. He saw it. He
There's
liked
the
it.
mouse.
He favored it because we're friends.
ain't
It gets
my
pushed
mouse.
into my stream. So using Google TV, we're able to make the living room social. But you don't have to just rely on your friends. There's also lots of great content in your personal feed based upon what we think you're going to like. So for example, here's a music video from one of my favorite artists. Now, why is this here? It's because I subscribed to his channel on YouTube, which means as he uploads new content,
Are you going to drink
I'm going to get it right away. We've essentially
Pepsi
turned
Throwback
all your
while you
preferences
watch YouTube
into
Lean
video
Back?
subscriptions that are just waiting for you.
Lean back is
But
kind of bacon.
You don't have to rely.
Yeah, that's
just on the
right.
channel
Lean
of
Back
you.
bacon.
Beyond that, there's other ways you could browse. There's a bunch of default channels of things you'd expect: comedy, music.
This is interesting.
news and
This is an
sport.
interesting.
And
So
you can
it's
even add
smart.
your
I mean,
own
if they're going to promote the idea of getting this stuff on
Channels
TV, they're going to have to have a big screen.
If that's
This
what
is,
you're
this is interesting. So it's like they just showed doing a YouTube search on the TV to find the TV programs. Now they're showing using a TV remote control UI for YouTube on the.
A little
on the web. It's
confusing.
like-
Yeah.
My rentals, as you
What
might
exactly do they want
to
here?
roll out pay per stream abilities for content creators on our platform. What happens is you rent that on YouTube.com, and
there
it's
they go.
waiting right here on your television.
Now I'm really
Bring up
confused. What am I watching?
So in all, we really believe that prior, lean back meant you had to give up control. You had to watch what somebody else programmed for you. But with YouTube Lean Back on Google TV, you're going to be able to access your personal video feed in beautiful HD on your TV at any time you want. And because developing for Google TV is just like developing for the web, this isn't a TV device, this is a web interface. And so within the next few weeks, I'm happy to announce we're going to be launching a beta of this on the YouTube website that you can access, try out it for yourself, and give us feedback. So we're incredibly excited about Google TV and YouTube Lean Back. Thanks.
Thank you, Hunter.
Thanks.
Looking forward to trying it out on my Google TV. Guys, can you please turn off your Bluetooths? Thank you.
Good luck.
Yes,
To show
all
you
3,000 of
another
you.
example, I'd like to invite Brian Perez from NBA Digital to showcase an exciting new site that he has developed.
More
for NBA.
sports. You
Brian?
know, somebody likes sports at Google.
I guess that shows they're really targeting a mainstream audience
Yeah,
with these TV
yeah.
products.
And you know, the sports audience is the right audience because they are maybe a little bit more willing to set up and configure this kind of stuff than, say,
That's true.
the Desperate Housewives audience, right?
Yeah,
Deeper into the living
they haven't
room
shown
than
any of
ever.
those things, have they?
Yeah.
Now, when NBA Digital moves to a new platform, we don't simply take the same experience and just move it over, but rather we focus on creating the best possible user experience for that particular environment. With Google TV, we finally have the tools to easily deliver web content to the
Is
television.
this the way you're going to
in the
want to
most
watch the
engaging
World
way.
Cup?
So as you can see, NBA.com has all the essential information a fan would want on their television. Scores, schedules, video, all at their fingertips in a clean, easy-to-read format. But this is TV, so let's take a look at a highlight from last night's Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals on TNT.
So I wonder if they're using WebM, if they're using Flash. I guess it doesn't matter. This box does it all.
Now, we've worked to optimize our video encodes to deliver the best quality for the higher screen sizes.
Tell me how. And
You can go full screen.
he has to move the mouse
Well, it
to
looks
that
great, just
little
like regular
box.
television.
And
We've also
click it.
implemented media key
Yep.
functionality, so the user can easily pause, play.
If they do end up showing
or stop the
a
video.
device that it's more easy to use than a mouse, I would say that in terms of just a keynote, you know, you'd never see
Now, I'm
Steve
gonna be
Jobs show
traveling
you
this
something
weekend,
where
but
the
I
whole
don't
time
wanna
you're thinking, oh, this will never work. And then
Right.
finally
And then they
shows
show
it.
you something better. Yeah, no, it's bad,
You
bad,
show them
bad
that first,
planning.
and then you
Yeah.
continue
Or you
to
don't
wow
show
them
them the
whole
crappy
time.
stuff.
Yeah.
I have to say though that this isn't lean back at this point. This is
turn
sit
off.
forward. Yeah.
What is this buffering?
Fiddle.
This is fiddle. Yeah.
Fiddle TV.
So the original web TV tried really hard because TVs then were really low res. They were effectively 320/240, and now the TVs are the highest res screen in the house in many cases. But they need to think about what they display on it, and they don't seem to be doing that.
Right.
I'm frustrated by the Comcast thing treating my HDTV as if it was that low res.
That's right.
But they don't seem. They seem to be. This is just like I'm plugged the Mac into the TV. I've got that issue already. I have to just sit there and zoom in all the time to make the thing usable.
Right.
You think they'd have actually thought about that a little bit?
Next, I'd like to bring Brittany back on stage.
Thank God.
Yay! Android applications. Brittany?
You're watching live coverage of Google I/O Day 2. Thanks to Slingbox. Use Slingbox to watch your favorite TV shows when you're away from home. Now available at Best Buy. Visit slingbox.com. This actually does. This would work with the Google TV, I have to point out.
For your Android phone.
Because it would plug into the Slingbox. So,
what time is it? Okay.
oh, dear.
Great. And today, we are excited to announce that it's also coming to your television. One lesson I'd like to tell all of you developers when we get back to listen. We're going to go back to listen.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
If you have a Bluetooth device, can you please turn it off? It's interfering with our keyboard.
Oh, come on. You should have thought about that,
okay.
kids.
The learning for all of
Get
you
an
developers
RF keyboard,
is not to
please.
name your applications too early. Listen and watch as the
Now,
name
remember, a
entails.
consumer who's going to watch this is going to say, oh, do I have to turn off my Bluetooth to have this work?
And it includes the same functionalities as it has on your phone. You can search, subscribe.
Or do I have to
there's a
interrupt my
lean-back
TV?
version of the marketplace,
Today,
it looks like.
You can also access
It's Listen.
Oh, this is Listen, okay. So a lean-back
Explore is
Listen.
a directory where you can discover new video podcasts.
That's us.
So let's check one of these out.
Yes.
Textville is one of my favorites.
Oh, crap.
Let's try that one.
We tried.
Huh?
At least it's
So we're gonna
in the
access
family.
And once we click into Textzilla, we can actually see a list of results with all the different
Eventually.
podcast episodes that we can watch. It's live HD video podcast right on your television.
There's Mac Break anyway.
We are having trouble with our keyboard, so we're not going
That's fine. So let me tell you about how this works.
Because I can't show
Android
you.
gives you a bunch of different screen layouts for the different device types you have. And the Listen team has developed a single binary that works on the TV and on the phone. It's using Google's back-end feed infrastructure so that you can continue to access all of your subscriptions on all of your devices. They all stay in sync. So another interesting thing that Google TV lets developers do is syndicate search results into our quick search box. So if you could bring down the quick search box, let me show you how it works. And if we can't bring it down, then I'll tell you how it works.
Good for you, Britt.
One of my other favorite
Britt, go.
podcasts is TED Talks. In the quick search box, I can type in TED Talks, and you see I get the standard set of Google TV search results.
It's working for me, so I think.
There's also a link at the bottom that says More Results. If I click on that link, I'm now able to search within.
I'm actually
the
thrilled
Listen
that
app
Listen is
itself.
on here. I mean,
now
and
I
that
can
they've
get
got
all of my
a big
episodes
version,
just
big
from
screen
a
version of
search.
Listen. That's very good
It
for
really
us.
is about
Listen is
spending
Android's
less time
podcatching client?
finding
Yeah.
and more
Yeah.
time
And I
watching
presume that Mediafly would
content that you
redo
love.
our app to, Mediafly does the
One
TWiT
last
app, and I'm
application
sure that they would
example I wanna tell
redo
you
it
guys
to
about.
have a
This
better
one was
experience
developed
as well.
by a
I'm sure they're
Google
working on it
TV
right
engineer
now.
that works on our team. He recently moved
Brittany,
here.
give me a minute
Okay.
just to catch up. Thank you.
He recently moved here from one of our international offices, and his wife moved with him. She doesn't speak English, so she's been having a really hard time watching U.S. television because she can't get the subtitles on her TV here in the States. So the engineer started thinking, and he decided to take the closed captioning feed already available on his television and the openly available Google Translate APIs, and he created a new translate feature for Google TV. So let me show you how it works.
Now, that's an interesting idea.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hope it works better than the YouTube
With a couple
captioning.
keystrokes, I now have subtitles for whatever language
Oh,
I
dear.
want. It's that
Oh,
easy.
dear.
Let me give you just a couple examples
I think
of
it's using the
things you
YouTube
can do with
captioning.
Google TV. Thank you.
Oh, dear. Those are quite comedic. Those
Guys,
YouTube
one
captions.
reason you didn't see the translation there is because we had ads here and our keyboards are not working as well, so couldn't rewind it. But what you would have seen is actually at the bottom of the screen, you would have seen things in Chinese, and you could just see it.
And the reason it's in Chinese is so you won't know how poor the transcription is.
The only way this demo could get worse is if they actually showed
the Chinese
captions.
Things that were just not
Yeah, show YouTube captioning, please.
Google TV is an open platform. It is you who matter. And because it is an open platform, you are the most important part of it.
Web 641 says it'd be quicker to learn English than learn to get this crap working.
Meanwhile, please sign up on google.com/TV, and we'll keep you updated of all the developments at our end. We're looking forward to being in touch with you. I'd like to now invite Rishi back on stage to talk about partners and timelines. Thank you very much. Rishi?
I mean, I know I'll be buying one of these, but whether I'll,
however much it costs, we know you do.
No matter how much. Well, I have to.
We usually don't have 4,000 people in your living room, so hopefully it won't happen again. All right. So like Ambrish mentioned, this has huge potential for you, right? Because if you look at it, traditionally the living room and the entire TV ecosystem has been closed, fragmented, and totally inaccessible. You've never had a chance to really engage with those users spending 5 hours a day in front of this device. Well, today, that can change. Our goal with Google TV is to create an entire new category of devices that are built around openness. Open for users to go wherever they want on the open web. Open for developers to create new applications specifically targeted for the living room. And open to content owners to create new experiences around their existing content and new ways to distribute it. Your TV just got a lot smarter. And our goal is to have the same impact on the TV experience that the smartphone has.
So is Steve Jobs sitting at home watching this going, yeah, go for it, guys, enjoy. That Apple TV thing worked out so well for us.
To take the platform and push it forward, whether it be a manufacturer, an operator, distributor, or more. And the only way we would do that is if we are open as well. So I'm also happy to announce that what you saw today, the Google TV platform, will be open sourced into both the Android and Chrome source trees.
Fantastic. That's fantastic news. That means anybody could build a box, I presume.
How does it work into the Chrome
proprietary
source tree?
Okay, so now we've talked a lot about the platform.
The code that they had to develop.
For just the browser?
So one major question.
and the Android source tree. So basically you'll have access. I don't know how much code you'll have access to, and there may be proprietary hardware.
Coming in a big way. Because we've partnered with some of the world's leading consumer electronics brands, as well as those leading the TV ecosystem, to deliver 3 Google
I guess
TV
Apple
devices.
could
first
encapsulate this capability into an Apple TV if it wanted to.
Called Sony. One of the leading innovators. Thank you.
Tepid applause.
One of the leading innovators in consumer electronics and on the television itself. They will be launching
but really bad at
a
software.
full line of integrated TVs and an integrated Blu-ray player.
Interesting. So they're taking the Android approach. They want to be the operating system for all of the TV devices.
Right. Of course. And I'm sure they're giving it away, or maybe even using that freemium
They will
model.
be launching a companion box, which allows you to easily
That's what we
integrate
want,
Google TV
right?
within your
This is the Roku
setup.
version. How much?
And the great thing is they're going to be
when?
creating an entire new set of peripherals around Google TV.
So can I
you even
upgrade
take
my
the
Sony
experience
TV
today,
that's got a
you can
CPU
go
unit to run this thing?
Hell no. What are you,
And then for the
crazy?
chipset, we've partnered with Intel. Intel will be powering all 3 of these devices with their
this
Intel
year.
Atom processor, which can allow us to have a great experience.
Oh,
across
that's
TV
interesting. So it's Android on Intel.
An Atom.
And it's coming in
Yeah.
fall 2010.
So has there been an Android on Intel before, or is it all ARM?
Not that I've seen. They've all been ARMs as far as I can tell.
That's
so
very
far.
interesting.
That is
It's gonna be an
interesting.
exciting year. But there's more. We've also partnered with Dish Network. We've actually been working with Dish for several months now on this platform to really get the user experience
Dish
right.
and DirecTV
And we're
are
actually working
huge competition,
on an
of course.
enhanced Google TV experience using the IP control protocol that Vincent actually mentioned earlier. So Dish subscribers
And
will be able to
EchoStar, by the way,
seamlessly integrate their DVR and
which
VOD
owns
content
Dish.
into the Google TV experience. And then finally, we need a way to get it into your hands. So we've partnered with Best Buy, the nation's leading consumer electronics company, to get these products directly into your hands in an easy way. All right, so what's the timeline for developers? Well, like Ambrish mentioned, today you can start taking your existing sites and enhancing them.
Owns Sling,
even though
who
they'll
is
run out
the
of the box.
sponsor of
Early
our
2011,
coverage.
we'll be
So
launching the Android market with an over-the-air update.
I can just say
as
this
well
is
as
a
Google
happy coincidence.
TV SDK and TV web
We
APIs,
love
so we can
Dish
actually
and we
do a
love
lot of
Sling.
integration today. And then finally, summer 2011, we will open source the platform into the Android and Chrome source trees.
Okay. So they're not going to open source it until these partners have a year to work with it. They get an exclusive for a year.
At that point, you think
that
it'd
makes
be
sense
free for anyone to put into their
Yeah,
device?
I think that makes sense. I think
And the
that's
best
a
of what the web has to
then Sony and Logitech and
create
Dish
an
have
entirely new
a year
entertainment experience,
leg up.
one that's built on openness.
It's
And we
the
can
same thing
enable
they did with
new forms
Android
of
with the
innovation in
phones.
living room
It's
we've never
slightly annoying,
seen
but it makes
before.
sense from a hardware
And of course,
manufacturer
we
point
wouldn't
of
have
view.
gotten here
Right. You got to give people exclusives or they're not going to adopt it.
So to talk a little bit more about our partnerships as well as the overall Google TV vision, I'd like to introduce Erik Schmidt, CEO of Google.
Eric Schmidt. You're watching live coverage of Google I/O Day 2. Leo Laporte, Eric Lanigan, Kevin Marks.
Thank you.
Brought to you by Slingbox. Use Slingbox to watch your favorite TV shows when you're away from home. Now available at Best Buy and
Years
Slingbox.com.
ago, I sat in the equivalent of this room and people talked about the notion of getting your television guide integrated with the television. 10 years ago, Web TV and other companies of its kind said maybe we should find a way to integrate the way you communicate and the way you use the web onto your television. We've been waiting a long, long time for today. It took a lot to make this happen. Let's start with what it took. It took the internet. It took extraordinarily fast CPUs, DSPs, a whole new architecture around software, the winning of open source, and all of the platforms that you've seen. It's much harder to marry a 50-year-old technology and a brand new technology than those of us from the brand new technology area thought. Of the things that we did, and you saw in the demo, you saw the full potential of cloud computing. You saw the ability to actually go from the server to the client, in this case the television, and you could even program it. And program it using the powerful tools that we all use every day.
Former
There was
Apple
one
board
other
member
thing that
Eric
we
Schmidt.
needed, and it turned out to be fundamental.
Now CEO of
we
Google.
needed a whole ecosystem of partners. What I'd like to do is to bring the CEOs of some significant.
Now you have to wonder if this is what he was talking to Steve Jobs about at that famous coffee shop meeting a few months ago. Saying, Steve, we're going to do an Apple TV, just so you know.
I'm going to go ahead and have a seat.
Steve saying,
Howard Stringer, CEO
knock
of
yourself
Sony.
out, Eric. So he's bringing out the CEOs.
Thank you very much, Howard. Serious crowd. Serious crowd, yes. They're engineers, Howard. They're our customers. Jerry Quinlan, Logitech.
I like the porno
Thank
music.
you.
That's good.
Charlie Ergen is the CEO of the Dish Network.
Charlie Ergen.
There he goes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The music is so cool relative to these men that it seems almost mocking.
Charlie's
It's
quite the
ironic.
character.
And,
He's very
Brian
well known
Dunn,
in the
CEO of
business.
Best Buy.
I think this will be available at Best Buy, the Logitech box at least, and of course the Sony TVs.
Hi, Brian. Nice to meet you. Thank you very much. And Shantanu Narayan, the most interestingly controversial person in the last few weeks, certainly involving Flash, the CEO of Adobe. Shantanu.
For the next 45 minutes.
What I thought I would do is ask a few questions of everybody, and we sort of run over. I think that it was just a phenomenal set of demos and announcements. Paul, you and I have talked a lot about the future of Intel, the things that you're doing. The Atom processor turns out to be really, really key in all of this.
This is very interesting,
What is
Kevin.
it
You
that the Atom
picked it up that
processor
the choice of
doing here?
Atom is
Why
very
it so
interesting.
special? Why is it not just a generic?
What do they get by going leaving ARM.
There's two things about this chip that are inside the TVs and the boxes that you described.
Price?
One is it is a version of Atom.
Power.
So we bring the full processing capability of Intel that you expect, the software compatibility, the web compatibility is all there with the performance of today's netbook, notebook kind of products. But we've put around the Atom a bunch of specialized circuitry for these devices that are the things that are expected in high-performance consumer electronics, high HD video, encoding, decoding, very high-performance graphics and so forth. The combination of the two gives you the ability to have that internet experience, but also the CE experience.
When you all built the Atom processor, was this the use that you intended? Was it a broader video platform that you foresaw?
We were praying no one would buy it. There's no margin.
2,000 applications around Atom today that are just popping up, from televisions to smartphones to smart cars.
Intel owns Scale, which is
our view of the microprocessor
mobile
is
processor.
It's a transformational technology. It makes the things it goes into smarter. And when you combine that with that capability with the internet and wonderful software, you get new capabilities that will change the industries in ways that we haven't seen before.
So in this sense, it's an extension of the Intel platform strategy.
Absolutely.
At a fundamental level. And Shantanu, we've had a lot of fun in the press. You've been on the other side of an awful lot of stuff. Flash roughly is used by 100% of the web, but it might be 99.97%. So why is Flash so important to this? What is Flash going to be used for in this new platform? Why are we fighting for Flash?
Well, Erik, first, I think it's tremendously exciting announcements here. Thanks for having us. I think it really is all about engaging experiences on the web. And as was discussed, really the convergence of getting that content and applications to any device that people wish to consume those content and applications on, whether it's a smartphone on Android, whether it's TV, or whether it's a PC. And as far as we're concerned, this is really about trying to create family harmony. So if Rishi's family can get Elmo when they want, and
disharmony with some of our family members right now.
Flash, and it works as advertised across all of these different devices. And I think for all of the content creators here, we'd love to get them an opportunity to be able to express their creativity and get it across all of this set of devices.
And please use Unity.
What is it special about Flash and this platform? There's clearly hardware acceleration. Is there something that Flash does special here that makes this more interactive, zippier? You know, what's the
NVIDIA is not on the stage here. I guess Intel wouldn't want
why
that.
You're using Flash?
Well, we're working on 10.1, and I think we announced
10.1 Flash.
And we announced today that we're going to have a public beta on Android. And what we've had to do really was to take into account some of the key issues to get it to really sing on these devices. So things like battery
I wonder if
life.
the Apple ARM Nexus is one of the reasons Intel is sitting on this stage today.
Power of the web, whether it's high
because all the
definition
Androids are
video,
ARMs too. ARM is just like the perfect mobile processor.
Most of the casual gaming now on the web is in Flash.
Would ARM make sense in a TV box like this?
A ton of work with Sony and with Google.
It may not be
really
may not be as well optimized. I think the thing that is that the Intel chips are used to driving large screens in desktop CPUs. So I can see that it means it seems a more natural thing if you're not as worried about power.
Right. Television. So
God bless you.
I think it's really interesting that yesterday Google was all about HTML5, and today Eric Schmidt just said they're fighting for Flash.
What is in fact the state of the television industry?
I think Google's attitude, which makes a lot of sense, is to be agnostic.
Right. Now having seen the full demo, including some Bluetooth issues, it's much broader than I thought, because it's maybe possible that people will spend as much time or more watching something other than television on their televisions.
Yeah, I think it is thrilling, and I agree with you. I mean, I was watching demonstration here today, which showed what can be accomplished. I mean, it was stressful with everybody's Bluetooth on and phones on and so forth. So it was a fairly stressful experience. But when you put all this as we've done for the fall into the world's first internet television, all that will be simplified and made seamless, so that the opportunities that you demonstrated. Are just mind-boggling. I mean, it's essentially evolving all the time. It's upgradable all the time. the more you find out about the internet, the more entertainment you find for yourself. Not just existing content, but reality content, what you can do with each other, your families, and so forth, the good and the bad and the ugly. And all of this is plausible on this feature. And when we launch it in the fall, with everything integrated.
Did I just hear that? When we launch this in the fall?
That would be this year.
This year, which, by the way, might be for the Christmas buying season.
Pardon? Yeah, well, that's why we're being very
Eric.
to Best Buy.
That's why we made the slide.
We appreciate the love, Howard. We really do.
May it be returned.
Oh, indeed. A little back and forth with the CEO of Best Buy.
So, Sony is and we at Google, we always use Sony as sort of the definition of an innovative company. Just one interesting idea after the other. Sometimes hugely successful, sometimes not as successful, but a passion of innovation that started from literally the founding of the firm. Do you foresee using this kind of a platform more broadly? How will you, in fact, take Sony forward with some of this new technology that you've seen? And not just the Google TV, but the integration with all the devices and things like that. Well, we already did, for example, the Sony Ericsson product. We talked about this.
Yeah, I wanted to plug Sony Ericsson after that HTC wonderful plug you gave. Sony Ericsson phone is not available in the United States yet in great numbers, but
there are Android Sony Ericsson headsets. They sell them in China right now.
Dominating Japan. It is the
we
number
never
one
use the word dominate, Howard. Well, it is the most successful in Japan.
Significant market share.
Significant market share.
No, when you beat Apple, you dominate.
Oh, there's the Apple word. First use of the A word. Even though Apple's been the subtext all morning.
No, this is a wonderful relationship that we expect to expand into other hardware and beyond. I mean, we are fairly giddy with excitement at this new relationship. You're a partner with whom we have no fear.
With whom you have no fear.
That's fairly unusual in our business.
Sony has partnered with Apple for a long time. They made their laptops.
So is he implying they fear Apple?
I think that's the implication, yeah.
So for the people who are not going to run out to Best Buy and buy a brand new Sony television, or whatever it is Howard is up to with these guys, what was interesting in reading about Logitech, you guys are the largest manufacturers of remotes, among other things.
Harmony.
I think of Logitech as my keyboard, my mouse.
Eric is not really a techie, I have to say.
Yeah. I think it's probably a safe bet.
He's a techie. Is he? He seems constantly surprised by things like, you make remotes?
Webcams.
Unless he's just being a little disingenuous.
Innovating in the living room for several years now, with a lot of products and in a lot of areas, but most notably through our line of remote controls called Harmony, which I think probably, there you go.
Yeah, a few users out there.
We've got some customers in the room.
And we've been very successful, but we felt that the biggest opportunity in the living room, as excited as we are about how well we've done with Harmony, we felt for a long time the biggest opportunity in the living room is really what Rishi was talking about, which is it's this combination of TV content and the web and bringing it all together in a seamless open platform, and that's why we're so excited about Google TV. Obviously, what we're looking at, frankly, Eric, is the opportunity to do what we've done successfully for 25 years around the PC, which is create a whole new ecosystem of peripherals around Google TV.
Now you're going to ship this box, right?
Right.
What will I do with the box?
How much?
I want this now, as you know.
Yeah.
We had this conversation. What do I do with the box? I just plug it in?
Yeah, I mean, so we will be providing, as was called out earlier by Rishi, a companion box, and with that companion box, you will get a controller, and the controller integrates a keyboard.
Is this controller is going to work better than the one we used?
Yeah.
like a Harmony.
So you get a controller with a keyboard, and it has remote control capabilities basically integrated into it. So we will ship that in the fall. As Sir
Which year?
This year.
This year.
Time
for
Christmas.
Just getting it on record.
Absolutely. But what you will need to do, we've made it very simple. Basically, if you're one of the 60 million HD TV households in the U.S., you are a target for this product. Basically, all you need is an HDMI input, and it's pretty easy to set up and get going.
I'm going to come to Christmas at the end with Best Buy. So let's ask Charles.
Assuming you need to plug it into the cable and into the
Well, that's what's interesting. Yeah, what kind of connection are you going to need here?
And will it pass the DHCP on, or will it,
well, I'm sure it'll have HDCP in it, but you're right. You've got to put your source devices through it. Otherwise, it's not going to do the TV thing.
Has there ever been another consumer set-top device that's superimposed over an HDMI signal?
Only the cable box. I mean, that's the cable box, right?
Well, not over HDMI,
to some degree,
it's its own internal processing
the
at that
traditional structure as well as this new structure.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. That you could superimpose it. Well, I don't see how you'd.
How will these devices?
The TV could do it.
How will they change?
It seems like a broadcast and like a downstream here, you know.
Right.
You've obviously bet big time on this. You must believe that it's going to be a big phenomena, right, for your subscribers. Presumably, you'll continue your even higher growth rate as a result. Tell me how it plays out for you.
Well, we think it's going to grow our business, and we think it opens opportunity. We always felt that good business is giving our customers what they want or what they may not know they want, but we believe they want, and kind of get ahead of it. So we already know our customers watch TV, and then they go to another room, to their study or their office or somewhere else in the house, and they watch stuff on the computer.
Charlie's
so we know
a geek,
that they
by
want
the
to
way.
combine those two things.
This guy's one of the most interesting
So
people in the business.
You know, we've been thinking about this for about 10 years.
He does a show on Dish called Charlie Chat that I've been on. Yeah, it's fascinating.
Oh, wow. What does he talk about?
Bought by Microsoft and built
geeky stuff a lot of times.
DVR and a web experience that was a dial-up, so it was just ahead of its time.
But he had a lot of guts. He launched rockets. I mean, this guy put satellites up. This guy's crazy. You know? Yeah.
When we started working with Google about 3 years on advertising and
EchoStar's done very well.
As you guys started looking at Google TV over the last couple of years, we were happy to get involved in the process pretty early on, so that seamless experience is going to be more seamless with Dish Network than with any other video provider. So that means your DVR is going to function in a more seamless way. You're not going to have to. It's going to be.
Kevin, I don't think we'll see the CEO of the Pirate Bay.
You switch from the web to linear TV. People are still going to watch the World Series, the Super Bowl, or a 3D movie. They're still going to watch.
So I'm guessing the only way to have that full, that universal search that we saw, where it found not only on Fox but the same show on Hulu and
you're internet connected, and you've got to have the sources coming in. I don't know how
through Dish.
Yeah,
because everything else is just HDMI. That can't search and connect
through Dish, or if you're on cable, I don't know what you do. You're right. It's a very interesting question.
Yeah,
it's not really been explored before.
I don't know how the Logitech
and this
box
strikes me as an analytical.
Well, they were saying universal remote. Maybe it just talks to that through the infrared.
Perhaps. Yeah, you get a harmony. That would make sense.
That? How do you see, what are some of the things that you've learned in running an analytical television business as opposed to the traditional ones?
Well, I think the analytics do two things for us. One is it allows us to give a better product to our customers, so we can make recommendations.
Okay.
Right. So you watch a Jimmy Stewart Western movie, and maybe we're going to put up a Glenn Ford movie because
remember, Dish is in a death battle with DirecTV.
We know is that from an advertiser point of view,
much like XM and Sirius were at each other's
and they want to reach customers out
there. You
there.
think this will give them a leg up?
Give them a better path.
Well, it's one of the reasons they're doing it, I'm sure. Yeah, DirecTV is kind of a half partner with TiVo, so.
Well, that's right.
To reach your customers, that's going to be better for customers because
Jimmy Stewart there is Charlie Ergen. He's the CEO of Dish.
It might be more appealing to me. So I think all those things go hand in hand, and I think it's important that at Dish Network we want to work with everybody in this room. Many of the applications that we saw here today, there's no question, are going to be hugely popular applications. But I would predict that this room out there, people out there will invent new applications that'll be even superior to what we saw today. And we're going to make sure that you can work with Dish Network so you can do that in a more seamless way.
Which is in fact why we're announcing all this now. So Brian, what I particularly like about you all is that you are the surviving and strongest and growing national retailer in the things that every single person in this audience cares about. Literally every single person here is a huge customer, right? When you think about the Christmas, and as I understand your industry, the profits really do come at Christmas, right? It really is a retail business in the most.
It is certainly disproportionate.
It's just a most brutal kind of way. And these businesses are often mature now. So how do you see this playing out? You see this driving new traffic? Do you see this setting a new price point? It's a whole ecosystem. It's more than a spot on your aisle. It's really sort of a whole new aisle, if you will.
So a couple things. One, Eric, we share your enthusiasm for the fact that we're a survivor. We feel really great about that. That's one. Two, we have a saying inside Best Buy that this is the most important holiday Christmas selling season in the history of the company, and it's true every single year. What we're really enthusiastic about with what we've seen with Google TV and what we think it means is, you're right, it's not just a new aisle. We think of it as an entirely new category, the smart TV, which we think, when properly demonstrated and properly
properly demonstrated. That's all we ask.
Challenges they face today. Let me give you an example of what happens. And I think this is absolutely how people are living today. So you're sitting in your family room or your home theater or wherever it is you watch, and you're sitting with the people you care about and you're watching a basketball game. Invariably, in my house anyway, I'm sitting there with my laptop, my sons have their laptops, and we're arguing the age-old question, Kobe versus LeBron, and we're having a very spirited debate, and everybody's
sports
pulling
talk
up
is
their
thick in
facts.
this
This is
conference.
really the first seamless experience I've seen.
Will this bring
that
people towards
actually
TV, especially young people who don't, all the statistics show they don't watch TV. If they watch TV content, it's on a laptop.
Real time.
Right.
And I think it is
Or could this be dying off with that generation of people who have lived only on the TV?
Right.
To do this. And again, I think it opens up an entirely new category. And from a Best Buy perspective, we're pretty excited. We have 180,000 blue shirts out there that are pretty fired up about this new category. And we got 20,000 geeks in case.
Oh, don't say the
everything
Geek
doesn't
Squad or
work
you're going to get
perfectly, as
booed
we
off
know,
the
even with the
stage. Be
greatest
careful
technology
here.
in the world, it doesn't always work seamlessly. So we're really
So what I was
excited about
thinking,
it.
again, one
All
of the
we
reasons why
want to know is how
so
much,
well
and
is
nobody's
because of
saying.
what you call the blue shirts, and the service quality is phenomenal in the stores.
As opposed to the brown shirts? I don't know. The blue shirts? What?
It will
Maybe
be such
not
a new
the
idea
best
for people
image.
that you're going to have to actually demonstrate it to them.
Yeah,
You have to actually see it to get excited about it.
You do. In fact, I was fortunate enough to get a in-depth demo last Friday. And when it is explained to you and you actually see what it is you can
actually
do
see a
and
demo that
experience
works.
it's compelling. In fact, I need one. And
Did they demonstrate what they mean at all, or what
right
they meant
now,
when they said
Howard,
that
I need
every
one.
ad
We
will
have
be
to talk about
interactive?
that.
Well, on Android it will. Now, that's a good point, is that they're going to do it on the phone, and I guess they should do it on the TV. And,
Well, they said they did, but I don't think they demonstrated that.
well, they showed it on the phone, where you could put videos and so forth. So, yeah, that's what this
Maybe
is
they
all
tried to
about.
demo it and it just
This is
wasn't
a
working.
dramatic This is an ad platform, isn't it? Yeah.
Third-party developers and so forth. I mean, the opportunity to expand this universe above and beyond. I mean, it's evolutionary because it will continue to evolve, and it's upgradable. So you think of it in a whole new way. It's active television. It's not only interactive, it's proactive as it grows and grows and grows and creates opportunities for people all over America and ultimately all over the world. It really is a very big deal. I can't stress that enough.
And it's utterly, you can personalize it. It is your experience in a way that I think is going to be very, very compelling.
So I'm getting the hook from Vic. We're having such a good time.
He had a long time on the stage.
Somebody asked, what's the combined salary of these 7 CEOs?
All of our partners is that we
It probably
need
approaches
you
$1 billion.
to take
I would
this
think,
platform and
At
build
least a $500 million.
extraordinary
Yeah, the
things
bonuses.
that
Eric
we
gets a
have
dollar.
not yet conceived of.
Is he the highest paid there?
He gets a
The
dollar.
volume. We have
Say again?
Eric's salary is $1.
$1. Oh, he's one of those dollar guys. But you got to include the options.
Your precious time.
I'm sure his options are worth something right
Dollar
now.
guys are so shady.
I think to really
making a
not
dollar.
just define television in a new way, but ultimately to define
Eric made his money at Novell. Is that what you're saying? Kevin?
No, I'm saying he made his money from the 10% of Google hands.
Yeah, that's the key.
This is a very, very exciting, from my perspective, beginning. And I want to thank everybody for spending so much time here, the commitments from your companies, and all of the work you guys are going to do with all of us to make this happen.
Is he really an expert on networking? When you say he's a geek, Kevin, what would you say his area of expertise is?
He's written code. He knows his
He's
video
coded
and stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
He's not he's not just some random dude. He couldn't cope at Google if he wasn't a geek.
Right. This is the vehicle connectivity they talked about with the Chevy Volt. Will include. OnStar is now going to start including is going to be based on Android, I understand.
Ladies and gentlemen, please move directly to your second floor sessions. Don't forget to stop by the agenda board on the second floor next to your snack.
So this is an ad for the Volt and the Android
Many of
apps
which cover what you just saw in
and OnStar.
Thank you.
My name's Steve Ross. I'm here in the OnStar Engineering Lab. What I'd like to do is show you some of the latest things we've been working on with the OnStar mobile application for the Chevrolet Volt on the Android platform.
There's also an iPhone, too. In fact, I played with the iPhone app when I drove the Volt at South by Southwest.
A mapping feature, integration with some OnStar backend services. And
but it's interesting that the GPS
really nifty voice-based point of interest searches.
We'll link to OnStar.
Google's Ajax APIs for local search.
We can show the vehicle's location on the map, but what I want to show is voice search. So let me search
Meanwhile,
for,
they're charging the car.
A popular place here in Detroit called Greektown. Greektown, Detroit, Michigan. So right now, it's sending the route down to my Volt.
532 Monroe Street is 3/4 of a mile away.
Now, OnStar doesn't necessarily have a screen, so this
2 minutes.
will also talk you through it.
Going northwest on.
You're watching live coverage of Google I/O Day 2, the second keynote, which we're wrapping up right now. And with us, Kevin Marks. Kevin, it's great to have you. Thank you for joining us. Erik Lanigan is in studio with me. Any thoughts as they wrap up the keynote, Kevin? Anything in particular that you'd like to highlight?
It was interesting seeing the tension between the two halves of it, because the yesterday was all about HTML5 and openness. The first half of this was all about Android and improving that connection to the web. And then the TV stuff seems to step back a bit. And they were saying, oh, well, we support Flash. Don't use VP6, only use 264. We haven't got the fonts that we launched, the other stuff. And it feels like this bit is like lagging behind quite a bit from the rest. And that may just be because the manufacturing lag of building this stuff into a TV means they have to have had it finished by now so they can ship it for the fall. But it just seemed that there was a bit of disconnect between the messages there.
Do you see are the outlines of a global strategy for Google now coming clear, or is it just they're pushing? You know, Apple, you can say there's a coherent kind of strategy to get Apple everywhere. Is that what Google's up to, or is this just pushing out little feelers in various directions?
Well, Google's current strategy is that they want everyone to be able to search on everything, and that they're prepared to open up the web and open up devices to make that possible. So, you know, this is like another iteration of the Android strategy to say, okay, it would be really nice if phones were better at using the web. We're prepared to invest a lot of money in building an operating system to do that. This is a similar thing for the TV sets, and I think Sony are very keen on that because they've not had a good experience in building up their own operating systems or using Microsoft's up to now.
Right. So it is part of an overall strategy just to get Google search everywhere, and the
ads too, yeah,
and the ads. And they didn't show it, but there will clearly be the capability for developers to write these interactive ads in the Google TV, just as they can, or they're going to be able to on Android. That's interesting as well. Yeah.
I mean, the other interesting thing for me was that this is expanding the Android vision, because we do Android dev here, and we were looking at this saying, okay, what can we? Are all the Android platforms running ARM? It looks like they are. That makes some interesting stuff about what we could do about native
How hard
code.
is that to do? Is that is just a cross compile, or do
it should just be cross compile? It should just be a C compiler and have two binaries. I mean, the basic Android system is built on the DualVic, which is a Java-like VM. They can't actually call it Java because of complicated technical legal reasons.
So that's interesting.
But basically, therefore it's running bytecode, which means you can run it on different CPUs. But up to now, all the devices we've seen have been ARM devices. So now they've said, here's a bunch of Intel-based devices that'll be running on these set-top boxes. So that's interesting. So that means that they've actually sort of expanded the platform a bit there.
Yeah,
and that, if you like, that's closer to what Apple have, because they have Intel in the laptops and the desktops, and ARM in the portable ones.
Right. So. But a big change for Android, but an extension of what Android's capable of.
Yeah.
Kevin, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
No, thanks for having me on.
We had a second this week in Google.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Kevin Marks, Ribbit.com and British Telecom, and we love having him on because he's a smart guy. I don't know, some of you will know the name because Kevin did work at Google for some time. In fact, was the kind of, so he says, not evangelist, but advocate for open social at Google. He also worked at Apple, where he was responsible for QuickTime and iChat. So he's got a great pedigree in this particular area. And Erik, it's really nice to have you here. Erik Lanigan is our newest star on the TWiT network. Erik was upstairs in the back end. He was one of our editors and said a couple of weeks ago, hey, I'd really like to do this Tech Talkback thing after the day is done, and I just opened up the lines, and it's been, I think, in some say, the best show on TWiT, so thank you for doing that.
Thanks. Thank you so much for letting me do it.
People love
it. It's just been great.
Yeah, people really love it.
And this was so much fun today. Thanks for letting me sit down here with you.
Always a pleasure, yeah.
And, make snarky comments over people's failing keynote presentations.
Yesterday we had Tom Merritt do the snark. Today, snark brought to you by Erik and Leo. Thank you for being here. And we do thank our friends at Slingbox for making this possible. Of course, this is something that we're going to try to do more of on the network, which is breaking news coverage. As you know, it's been one of the things that has driven the most traffic to TWiT Live. Is big stories like this, keynotes, things like that. So Sling came to us and said, hey, we'd like to sponsor those to help you fund them, and that's fantastic. So thank you very much to Slingbox. We invite you to take a look. By the way, Slingbox is owned by Charlie Ergen, who's on stage there, by the EchoStar folks. And so I wouldn't be surprised at all to see some integration into Sling with this kind of stuff. Yeah. Slingbox is the greatest way to watch your favorite TV shows when you're not at home, or even when you are at home, but just in a different room via the internet. Now available at Best Buy. I think we have another tie in there. You can find more about Slingbox at slingbox.com. Thank you, Sling Media, for providing sponsorship for our breaking news coverage. We're about to go into, and by the way, I don't know if you noticed, but they changed the TWiT Live. We changed the TWiT Live page when we do this to reflect the breaking news.
And so red alert.
Yeah, so this will be a way for you when we're in a breaking news mode, a way for you to see that we are in fact doing breaking news. We'll have the red and the breaking news logo up there. And the whole idea of the network for me, of course, we started with podcasts with audio only. We now do audio and video for all the shows, or almost all, soon to be all the shows. And the whole idea for me was to also get this real-time streaming stuff up and running so that we can give you coverage as things happen. And adding Tom Merritt as part of that, we're also going to hire Sarah Lane, I'm glad to announce, as a full-time employee. So we'll have 2 more anchors and more shows coming. Tom's show, Tech News Today, which will cover daily the latest tech developments, will be on every Monday through Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 21:30 UTC, and of course it'll come out as an audio and video podcast too. And we've got some really good people who'll be joining Tom. It's going to be a lot like Buzz Out Loud. There'll be a lot of the same kind of energy and feel, and some of the people who are going to join him will be great. And Erik, I hope, and I haven't told you yet, but I hope that you will be part of that Buzz Out Loud team every afternoon.
Well, that'd be great. Yeah, Tom, just yesterday we met.
He's asked you to do that.
He wants me to do the to engineer.
So we have to figure out your schedule. But can you sit here every day at 2:30? All right. So
I would love.
I think Erik will be part of that show as well, which really makes me happy. So thank you, everybody, for being here. We're going to go to security now in just a few minutes. We do take these live specials. Erik chops them up, and we put them on our, or maybe Tony did yesterday, but maybe Erik will do it today, put them out on our TWiT specials feed. If you haven't yet subscribed to that, that is one of our podcast feeds. You can find that if you go to live.twit. I'm sorry, if you go to just twit.tv. Is it /specials? What is the twit.tv
Oh, I don't
link?
know, actually. I
don't know either.
It
should be. That's our standard. But I don't really know.
And Leo, can we plug Tech Talk back today at 7:30
when are you going to do
p.m.
that?
Pacific? If you guys watching and listening out there want to call in and give your thoughts and opinions on what has transpired today and yesterday at the Google keynotes, I'll be taking your calls live for about an hour to an hour and a half later tonight at 7:30 Pacific. So go ahead and call in.
That's live only, by the way. We don't yet put that out. And because it's very topical, I think we probably won't put that out as a podcast. And I want to give Erik the freedom to kind of have fun and be relaxed and not have to worry about it living forever on the internet. It is twit.tv/specials. If you subscribe, you see we already have yesterday's Google I.O. keynote out. We'll have keynote 2 with our commentary out as quickly as we can. You can subscribe to that in iTunes, the Zune store, anywhere you go. But the easiest way to subscribe, as always, is to go to twit.tv, and you'll see an audio and video subscription drop down. So you can pick iTunes, Google, Winamp, Zune. It's PCast if you've got there are a few other podcast clients that you can use PCast with, or you could just get the RSS feed and plug that into whatever you use, including Google Listen. I guess we should put a Google Listen link. Start putting a Google Listen link up there, Dane, because that's looks like that's the podcast platform for TV. Thank you all for being here, and we'll see you next time. I'm Leo Laporte with Erik Lanigan. Thanks for joining us for our coverage of Google I/O Day 2.